All right. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. Good. Welcome everybody to the first session of Silversong. It feels like it's been a long time coming, so it's good to finally get it up and running. As is tradition on this channel, we've already got some doodles on the world map. And I'm sure we'll eventually get more as the campaign progresses. But it wouldn't be a Grand Lorraine campaign if we didn't have doodles everywhere. So, all right, glad you're doing good as well, chap. Alrighty. Make sure that your audio is all good. I think you guys are pretty good as far as balance, so I don't think we should have any issues there, but I'll adjust you as we go. Alright, you're all right in the middle. Now then, shall we get started?
Yes, please.
There's this one little pixel of doodle that's it's right here. This little square. Let's make it bigger. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
A giant cube. A massive cube crushes the entirety of Carcassonne. Thousands dead. All right. Now then. I have you all on the Elder Isle because that is tradition. And I like to start here always, just to kind of give a impression of... Yeah, that actually was where the brass hand is. Sorry, you guys have to roll new characters. My bad.
No.
So, I like to start on this, but in truth, we are not located in the Elder Isle today. Instead, we're going somewhere else. Give it a sec to render since it's high res. Today, we travel west once more. Far from the Elder Isle, far over the Sea of Cassis, lies a serene isle of marbled mountains, golden wheat fields, and bountiful harvests. Those who live there refer to the isle as Our Lady's Land, but the true name of the kingdom is Middlemere. Her people are humble and kind, hard workers who till the fields, stoke the forge fires, and hunt for their sustenance. Just below the northern spine lies an expanse of grassy meadows, gentle babbling brooks weaving through it like veins. And within those riverlands, just on the outskirts of a small town, lies a humble orphanage converted from a church into a home for needy children. The eldest of those children, a group of 4 teenagers, each on the brink of aging out of the orphanage's care, must now choose for themselves the path that they lead through life. But before that, they have to clean up for dinner. So today, we arrive at the Stony Brook Orphanage. It is a pleasant, sunny day, as it often is in the Riverlands. And just past midday, as two of our party arrive back from an errand that they were on. They were off getting fresh produce for dinner from a nearby farmstead of the O'Phelan family. So we're actually going to roll to see who those two were. So I'm going to roll a d4. All right. So the two who are returning from the errand parcels of produce in hand, potatoes and sacks of flour for baking bread for dinner, are Kodge and Tibber. Just chatting to amongst yourselves as you make your way back down the path, slightly north of town, making your way from the farmsteads back towards the orphanage, and soon passing through a clearing of trees, you can see the humble orphanage in the distance, with its old kind of steeple, as it was once a church. Nearby, you can see one of the kids of the orphanage, one of the younger ones, who is currently attempting to pull some water up out of the well, but seems to perhaps be struggling a little bit with that. And you recall, of course, that this is Rory. You can do what you wish.
I understand those herbs taste really good, but it makes some of the younger ones break out in these weird kind of hive things. I don't think we want to put that in with the rest of the food.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
One second. Rory, are you okay?
Hey, Rory, how you doing?
I was just trying to get some water from the well, but the bucket's a bit heavy and I couldn't pull it back up.
No worries. We can help you. Tibor set down his bags.
All right, you place down your sacks of fresh produce next to the well. So there's a rope kind of cascading over the side of the stone well that disappears from sight deep down within the depths of the well. And as you sort of pull at the bucket, you can feel that it's a little bit heavy, quite full up with water. So make a little strength roll for me. I'll turn them up, Luna. We hadn't balanced their audio yet, so I'll turn them up.
First roll. Let's go.
Work them muscles.
All right. With a 16, you flex your muscles and pretty easily pull this bucket all the way to the top of the well. A little bit of water sloshing over the top as you now hold a bucket full of water in hand.
Man, they had you doing this by yourself.
Well, not really. I just thought I would help out. Everybody seems to be pretty busy today, you know?
Very nice of you, Rory.
Yeah, you don't have to push yourself though.
Are you okay to take that back by yourself?
He's kind of wobbling a little bit, carrying this heavy bucket, but he goes, yeah, I'll be all right.
It's a tough lad.
Good man.
Rory, better get going.
I'll pick up my bags again.
All right.
You can follow us.
He wobbles along behind. Well, there are kitchens in the back of the orphanage. where you could drop the produce off.
Go straight to the front then.
You walk up
Never
the
did.
the stone steps to the front of the orphanage. There are paths that go off to the left and right, out to the side, but for your purposes, the front door will do. Some birds kind of flutter off as you creak the door open and make your way into the main hall of the orphanage. So let me copy you. And let's go inside.
Oh man.
With Rory sort of teetering his way along behind you, carrying this heavy bucket, but you with your sacks full of produce, make your way into the main hall of the orphanage. Inside, you can see that there is a fire lit in the hearth, and one of the younger girls, who you recognize, of course, as Rebecca, is sitting next to an old woman, perhaps around 70 years old, who has sort of a wrinkled face but kindly features, who, of course, is Mother Margaret, the owner of the orphanage, who is in charge of all the children. Sitting at a nearby table off to your right is another young elven girl. And beyond that, a boy is attempting, rather unsuccessfully, to grab some books from the shelf on the far end of the room, reaching for a book that is just a little bit too tall for him. But Mother Margaret turns towards you as she hears the door open, sort of craning her neck over the back of the couch, and says, yes, Tipper and Kosh, you're back. With the produce then, I assume?
Yes, Mother
Yeah.
Margaret.
All right, well, you can just drop it back in the kitchen, and then, if you wouldn't mind, would you go up and get the other two? They're up tidying the shrine on the 3rd floor.
Will do.
Once you grab them,
Rory.
just come on back down. I have a few more chores that need doing today.
All right, we'll get that done, Mother.
Thank you, kids.
I'm gonna walk over and just ask Edward really quick, which book did you want from that shelf?
That one.
I'll go ahead and reach up and grab it.
He just kind of points at one. Seems to be an old children's tale, the Bard of Belisandre.
So I'll hand it to him, pat him on the head, and go back towards the kitchen.
He thanks you, and then just kind of wobbles his way over to the table and sits up on the chairs. So the kitchen is back through this door, as of course you already know.
What would these kids do without us?
You okay back there, Rory?
Yeah, Rory also wobbling along behind you.
Okay.
Poor kid.
All right, so pushing through this door, still carrying your produce, you make your way sort of into the back rooms behind the main hall of the orphanage. Of course, the dining hall off to your left, passing by that door, and a storage room on your right. The last room on the right would be the kitchen, your destination.
Leaving these doors open.
Where did you guys want us to drop these off?
So walking into the kitchen, you can see one of the younger girls at the orphanage is helping out one of the sisters, one of the nuns at the orphanage, the younger girl, Millie, and the older girl, catchy in origin. You can see her cat ears kind of twitching in the heat of the kitchen fire. Of course, Sister Amandine. And she turns towards you as you enter and says, great, you're back with the produce. Just in the corner here, next to the other sacks there. And I'll sort it out in a bit.
I'll go ahead and drop mine off.
Yeah, I'll kind of like toss them down, not really paying too much mind to them.
Busy
Are
date?
you good?
He's still carrying this bucket, and he lays it down where Sister Amandine points. Just over there then, Rory. And she turns towards you and says, busy day today, eh?
Yeah,
It's
it would
looking like
seem.
it so far.
I think Mother Margaret had some other things she needed you to do, if you're not busy.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the word. We're gonna
We'll
go
head
pick
down.
up Ruva and Gale, though.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
All right.
Good thing you're with me, cause man,
It's all right. Make a good team.
So the door
Interested in?
before you, off to your right as you exit the kitchen, of course, leads out back. The stairs to the second and then third floor are back in the main hall.
man, been here forever, and I still feel like I don't remember anything.
Some days the orphanage feels like a maze.
It'd be better if these kids didn't leave these doors open.
So making your way back out into the main hall, immediately off to your right are the stairs that lead up to the second floor.
Tibra's just gonna like survey the room real quick, just like making sure everyone's fine.
Eddard and the other elven girl just kind of sitting quietly, both reading at the table off on the far end of the room. And Mother Margaret is just sitting by the fire with Rebecca, talking quietly.
I'll head up after.
So making your way up the steps, the old wooden stairs creak a little bit as you climb your way up to... Actually, hang on. Let's copy a version of you that doesn't have Rory following you everywhere. You make your way up to the second floor of the orphanage, which of course is where you all sleep. The hall off to your right stretches down to both the girls' and boys' bunks on either sides of the hall. Immediately on your left is the door to the bathroom.
Man, these kids, no manners. Kind of slam the door shut. Are you kidding me? I'll kick this door closed.
You can hear some motion in the rooms beyond. Clearly there's some people still inside those doors. But far off on the end of the hall are the stairs to the third floor.
So many stairs in this place.
And as you make your way up these rather old and creaky stairs as well, you find yourself on the third floor. Which is where the sisters and Mother Margaret have their bunks. As well as the old shrine room at the end of the hall.
Man, I'm gonna lose my mind. He kicks this door closed louder than the rest.
So off to your left is the door to the old shrine room. And as you arrive out in front of it, you can see with some old makeshift brooms in hand, Ruva and Gale, as well as one of the younger girls from the orphanage, are just kind of tidying up the room, dusting, and making sure everything's in order.
I'm
Yeah,
just
everything's
saying,
going.
I'm just saying, Gail, if you just like somehow got your hair longer and stuff, you'd be able to do so much more with it. Can make it look like mine. It would look amazing. Trust me.
Oh, I'd probably give it a go.
Aye, nerds. Mother has some tasks for us.
Hi, we're doing them.
Well, she has some other tasks. I don't know. She told us to get you.
Wait. What other tasks?
Didn't tell us yet.
She didn't tell us. She just said come get you two. I don't make the rules.
Rover rolls her eyes. Ah, typical. Okay. All right. We're on our way.
Fine.
You're all finished
Can
up here
we-
then?
Can we quick finish up though? It's like 2 minutes maybe left.
Okay, I'm just gonna thumbs up and duck out of the room.
Mother yells at you, then that's on you. I don't care.
What else do you need, Vanilla?
I can finish up in here if you all want to go and help Mother Margaret with what she asked.
Oh,
Are you sure?
seriously? Thanks. Thank you so much, V.
It shouldn't
We will make it up to you.
shouldn't be any trouble. There's only a little bit more to go anyway.
Awesome.
All right.
She takes your broom from you and just continues to kind of sweep up the rest of the floor as you exit.
Like to close the door.
Are y'all ready?
Yeah. Lead on. You guys know where she is, right?
She's just in the living room, I guess. Whatever
She
you
never
want to
moves
call
too
it.
quickly.
Don't imagine she go very far.
All right. Who's hiding somebody? There we go.
Oops.
All right. So quickly making your way down through the. Sorry, I'm going to delete you so that we can have all of you here. Quickly making your way back down through the second floor along the hallway. The four of you make your way back towards the main hall, where Mother Margaret was last seen.
T-Bear's
Should all
gonna
these-
peek into this room.
All right.
All
Kinda
these doors
yell.
be closed though? Don't they hate it when they close the doors? When there are people inside?
He's gonna yell specifically at her. Hey!
So inside this room, which is the girls' dormitory, you see another one of the nuns, who is, of course, Sister Elizabeth, just kind of tidying up some of the girls' beds. And she looks, as you yell at her, she kind of spins towards you and goes, what's something you need, Tibber?
No, sorry. I think some kids have been leaving the doors open. If you want me to, like, throw them in a sack, just tell me.
Well, I don't think we'll need any sacks today, but I'll try and remind them to keep them shut.
Alright, I mean, it's not. He's just gonna mumble as he walks away.
That really upsets you.
It's not my rules.
All right, so you make your way down. Gail, I'm assuming going with.
Hey.
Back to the main hall. Where Mother Margaret is still seated by the fire.
Things all
like-
here, Mother.
Plop into this chair.
Ah, good. All my eldest are here. All right, so the four of you, as you know, well, today is an important day for the orphanage. And, well, every year, Miss Sullivan comes over for a nice dinner with all of us at the orphanage, and we need to make sure that everything is in tight and working order so that we don't give her any wrong impressions, of course. I don't need to remind you that Miss Sullivan is the largest donor to the orphanage. In fact, without her coin, this orphanage would not be afloat at all. So again, we need to make sure that everything is nice and ready for when she arrives later this evening.
What do you need us to do then?
Well, Sister Amandine was complaining about not having extra hands to help chop some of the vegetables for dinner. And, well, we don't exactly want to give any of the young'uns any of the sharper knives. So, Ruva, if you wouldn't mind helping out in the kitchen. I know you're a bit crafty with a knife.
Oh, I'm great with the knives. Sure, I love it.
I think she needs some help chopping more vegetables.
Should I go do that right now?
Yes, you can run off right now if you wish.
All right, cool. And Ruva kind of just runs off.
And Tipper, if you wouldn't mind chopping more wood, I believe they need more for the hearth in the kitchen. Just outside, like you always do.
Yeah, I guess.
And Gail and Kaj, Sister Elizabeth is upstairs helping the girls make the beds. If you wouldn't mind helping the boys upstairs. Thank you all kindly. We need everything nice and ready for her. We don't want to mess this up after all.
Right away, mother.
Alright, so each of you makes your way off towards your various tasks. Let's go outside. So Tibber, you make your way out the front door of the orphanage, and you know to turn off in this direction, as the log that you usually use to chop wood is off around the side of the orphanage on that end.
Oh, man. Oh. These plants are looking good.
So, making your way around the side of the orphanage, you quickly arrive at the western end. Where the log is, of course, where you left it. And you can see one of the other kids, one of the kids with a little bit of an air for rebelliousness. Leon.
Chopping logs now.
Leon, of course, is attempting to chop wood. But he is not doing an incredible job.
Yeah, just kind of stand there, cross his arms. Hey, Leon, how's this working out?
He wipes a bit of sweat from his brow and plops the axe down, which is quite heavy for him, but for you it'd be a relatively small axe, if anything. And says, I was just trying to chop wood. I know Mother Margaret says that the younger kids shouldn't play with the sharp things. You won't tell her, right?
Yeah, I'm not a snitch, especially if you're trying to help. But I don't know if you're quite the most suitable for this.
I know.
You want me to show you some things?
Yeah, that'd
Out
be
of a bit
great.
of a technique. He'll pick up the axe.
So by the old stump where you usually chop wood, you find that chopping wood tends to fall to you, Tibber, just because of your general strength and stature. With a lot of the younger kids around, it tends to typically be your task. And so there's a larger axe that you can use, just sort of a woodsman's axe to chop the bigger logs, but there's also a smaller hatchet, a hand axe, just kind of leaning against the side of the stump as well.
See, this is typically relegated to me, but I won't be here much longer, so there's a good chance that she might put it on one of you kids, so figure I might as well show you guys what I normally do.
Yeah. Show me how you do it. He's gonna actually kind of help you out as you begin to chop some of the wood. He kind of grabs logs from the stack and balances them so that you can split them.
You've already got that part down. I can't really help you too much there. See, it's all about the swing, really. You gotta put momentum into it.
Right.
Kind of like swing it under him and then up and over him and then down onto it.
All right,
Like
with
big
a
arc.
with a clean thwack, the log splits very neatly in two, with both of these smaller pieces falling off to the side of the stump.
See,
And
if you just go up and down. It's gonna be a lot harder.
Leon looks a little bit wide-eyed, pretty impressed. And he just kind of says, how do you get it to split so neatly?
It's all about practice, really. I mean, eventually you'll get the hang of it. You'll just hit it in the right place.
He nods along, paying close attention to your form as you continue to split more logs. Each time you successfully split one, he quickly runs over to the pile and grabs you a new log, balancing it so that you can split the next.
You want to try again?
Yeah, I guess so.
He'll kind of take over the duty of putting it on.
All right. The axe looks a little bit heavy for him. He's much shorter than you, so he is slightly unbalanced. And when he starts to kind of swing the axe back, he sort of loses his footing slightly and has to stumble back a couple steps, and then takes a couple more steps forward as he swings it back down. He doesn't split the log cleanly. Instead, it just sort of lodges in the top of the log and gets stuck. And he goes, "This is what always happens."
I think you might be using too big of an axe, honestly. You see, you're not quite the strongest, but like I said, it's all momentum. Maybe we should get you a smaller axe.
He kind of looks a little disappointed when he says, when you say you're not quite the strongest. He goes, "I'm gonna get bigger."
Yeah, I mean, you're still young. When I say that, I really mean you've got room to grow.
He nods.
All right, let's keep doing this. Try again.
So you help him kind of pry the axe out of the top of the log, and then he takes another swing at it. This time he gets down about 2/3 of the way through the log before it gets stuck.
See,
but it's
you're already improving.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cleaner cut than before.
Just keep at it. You'll get there eventually.
He tries once more, and this time he manages to split the log. Though the couple of logs that tumble off after he splits it are a little more rough than the neatly split ones that you did.
Nice. See, you're already doing it.
He doesn't say anything, but he looks a little more proud now. And the two of you just sort of spend some time splitting a few of the logs. And then once you figure that you have enough to last probably the rest of the day in the kitchen hearth, you gather some of them up.
All right. Do you have any other plans to do out here? Or you wanna bring these in with me?
I can help bring them in.
All right, grab as much as you can.
He grabs another pile and kind of holds them over his shoulder and follows you along as you make your way back towards the front of the orphanage. Did you just... Oh, there we go. All right. Back inside, as Tibber was outside splitting wood, Gil and Cod, you make your way up the stairs to the second floor.
Take a look around inside really quick.
Yes.
Better get to it.
So you glance around the room that you've been sleeping in for quite some time. You guys can pick which beds you have for yourself, as this is the room where you guys would sleep.
Taking this orange one in the top corner.
All
Mine's
right.
at the bottom by the window.
All right. So most of the beds are pretty messy. It seems like the boys didn't really make their beds when they got up this morning. So the room does look like a bit of a mess right now. But sitting on one of the far end of the his own bed at the end of the room is one of the younger boys, Tristan.
What are you doing, Tristan?
Tristan seems to be just sort of holding something in his hands, and as you approach, he jumps a little bit from the sudden announcement of you making your way down the row of beds. You surprise him a little bit, but he turns towards you and goes, "Do you want to see?"
Of course. What is it?
So he shows you what he's holding in his hands, and there's a small little spider cupped in his hands. He goes, "I found this crawling along the wall."
Well, I'll be.
Isn't it
What are you
cool?
gonna do with it? Yeah, of course. What are you gonna do with it?
I was just gonna look at it.
Did Mother give you chores today?
Sorry, what did you say?
Did Mother give you chores today?
Well,
Chores.
she told me to, well, make the beds and all, but then I saw the spider and I got distracted.
Well, we are here to help. You make your bed, we'll make the rest.
All right, fine.
Do you want to help?
If you want him to help you with the rest of the beds, you can make a persuasion check. Yeah, I guess I'll let this spider go, and I'll help you with the beds.
What are you holding him with? Do you have like a cup?
No. Do you have one? Then we could hold on to it for later.
Let me check underneath my bed, see if I have anything.
All right.
I have a small pouch. Here, why don't you put him in there and hold it?
As long as you don't mind putting a spider in your pouch.
No, it's fine.
All right. He places the spider within your pouch as you hold it open for him.
Good. I'll take this side and I'll take the other.
All right. He starts with his own bed and begins to tidy it up. Kaj, what are you up to on the far end?
Just working on beds going from top to bottom.
All right. It shouldn't take you all that long. You're relatively used to this chore. Today's a bit of a busier day, and you have to kind of do a few more chores than usual. But as far as making the beds, the boys' side at least, they tend to be a little bit messier. So you're used to Mother Margaret asking you guys to help make some of the beds. So, like old experts, you managed to do this task relatively quickly, especially with Tristan helping you out.
After I have a talk with Tibber, I found some food under his pillow again.
And so eventually the three of you finish up tidying up the beds.
Looking good in here. Should we ask Sister if she needs any help?
I might as well. Already up here.
Alright, I'm gonna knock on the outside of the open door. Can I peek in? Sister Elizabeth?
Yes, that was something you needed.
Do you need any help with the beds in here, or you got the handle?
I think I should be all right. If you have other things to be doing.
Alright.
Only a few more beds left to go.
Head off towards the stairs.
Close. Close.
My man.
Teach these kids manners.
So the two of you make your way back to the main hall. And as you do, you bump into Tibber and Leon, who are carrying stacks of split logs. Where'd you go, Leon? There you are. Who are making their way from outside and heading back towards the kitchen.
Y'all
You
are finished
carrying those
already?
down? Yeah, it's making beds. It's
It's not very hard.
You guys also get 2 people. I get I'll kind of look back at Leon. Yeah. Anyway, yes, mother.
She's looking more towards Kaj and Gale as Tibber, you and Leon are kind of still in the middle of your task. If the two of you are done upstairs making the beds, then if you wouldn't mind helping out with setting the table for dinner.
okay, mother.
Perfect. Thank you, Darius.
Dinner better be good. I distinctly
Speaking of
said that.
dinner.
I said that quieter so mother didn't hear.
Are you cooking?
Me?
Yes. Why are you complaining?
Oh, I'm not cooking. I don't. I just like good food, man.
Tibber, I just think you like food.
Yeah.
Alright, so the four of you make your way back into the back room towards the dining chambers and the kitchen. With Leon following you, Tibber, still carrying the stacks of wood, off to the right where the kitchen is located. And Kaj, you make your way off into the very long dining hall. There's two sort of very long tables set up with candles lit and tablecloths placed already. You can see just sort of a very large amount of chairs to house all of the children for dinner. But at the very far end of the room, nearer to the hearth, is one of the other younger girls, a human girl, named Luna. She's just sitting quietly by herself. Leon follows you, Tibber. I definitely said Luna. But somewhere Luna in the chat was like, hey, what? Did he say me? So Ruva, you see Tibber and Leon enter the kitchen carrying stacks of logs as you're helping Sister Amandine chop up some vegetables in the kitchen. You've got a knife in your hands.
Yeah, your favorites brought some more wood, as always.
Make sure you stack it better than last time, please.
What do you mean, stack it?
In the pile. You're not going to put all that wood into the fire right now. Stack it.
Why not?
Side. Because we don't need that big of a fire right now. It's supposed to last. Remember? Okay, just put it to the side by the door. Stack it neatly. And then,
okay.
Yeah. Thank
I'll just
you.
kind of throw the wood down here.
I heard that.
Tibber, Leon follows your example and throws the wood down too.
Oh, okay. Our job here is done. Anything? Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Sister, did you not see that?
Well, they tend to do it a lot, so I sort of just put up with it.
Man, I'm the best.
It's not setting a good example for Leon.
So Kaj and Gail, in the dining hall, you can see that there aren't really any plates or anything, and no cutlery set up quite yet.
Doing okay, Luna?
Luna, one of the sort of younger girls, blonde hair with a very peculiar birthmark on her cheek. Just sort of looks up from what she's doing and she says, yeah, I'm alright. Was there something? Did you need my help?
Gil and I are going to set the table in here. I'm going to be in your way for a little bit.
I can help you if you want.
That'd be great. Thank you. Where are we going to grab?
I'll go get the utensils.
Tibber's gonna sit down right here with his legs on the table. Or feet, I guess.
Over here, boys.
Hmm?
Just showing you where the utensils and the plates are.
I swear they move them every time.
So inside one of the old closets, there's stacks of plates and bowls and glasses, as well as some drawers full of cutlery.
I'll grab a stack of plates and start going back.
Luna follows suit. She grabs sort of fistfuls of forks and spoons. Begins to make her way back.
Napkins, whatever's left.
And as Kaj and Gil, as you and Luna, you two and Luna begin to sort of set some of the places at the table, you hear a loud bang from out in the hall.
I put down the stack of plates and go out to go see what happened.
Tibber, you hear this as well.
The hell?
And Ruva, you also do. Sister Amandine just kind of looks at you and says, well, if you're done chopping that veggie, would you mind just making sure that no one's in trouble out in the hall?
Of of course.
So as the four of you all sort of arrive in the hall at the same time, you see one of the boys, Niall, who's around maybe 12 years old, out of breath and panting as he just burst through the door. And he looks up at you four and says, out in the garden, the sprites are back. They're making a mess. Is Saoirse still out there?
God damn it.
In my garden.
Ruva quick goes back in and grabs a knife
All right.
and goes outside.
I understand the situation, but if you break that door, Niall.
Sorry, emergency. As he's still
Yeah.
leaning against the wall to catch his breath. All right. Break the door, get the sack.
That's just the beginning.
He probably got it from you. Kicking doors close.
It's throwing me off how Kaj's portrait is just not big enough.
Sorry, there you go.
Thanks.
All right.
All I could notice.
All right, so the four of you make your way out the door and sort of down these wooden stairs to the back of the orphanage, where the garden is located. And as you arrive outside, it is pandemonium.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
Spread all throughout the garden, you can see these kind of tiny, diminutive, no taller than your knee, little sprites, sort of resembling potatoes. Just sort of making a mess. They're upturning sacks of soil and kicking some of the gates. They've broken up part of the fence over here near the pumpkins. Two of them are terrorizing one of the younger girls who's hopped up on a bale of hay to try to distance herself from them. You recognize her as the young satyr girl, Saoirse. And she sees you from across the way as the four of you burst out through this door, and she just kind of goes, "Can you help me?"
Where did these all come from?
I don't know. Just make sure everyone's safe.
Yeah, I'm not
Potato
gonna
people.
ask questions.
And as the four of you pile out back of the orphanage, the sprites all sort of in sync. If you stop moving for a sec, the sprites all sort of in sync, all turn towards you, and have found a new victim for their mischief. So roll initiative.
Ooh. Huh. Debor Big Orc.
All right, pretty good rolls, everybody.
Man, if only I was 15, I would have been like counting up.
Mm-hmm. You're the problem.
I'm just too good.
All right, let's roll for them, and we are ready to go. Tradition to start with this
Potato
one.
People.
It's tradition to start with that one. All right. So first to move, as you all sort of gaze at each other, the yam drakes and you four, sizing each other up. First one to make a move is this little one here near you, Tibber. He's gonna kind of sprint dead at you, and sort of take a dive at you, attempting to headbutt you with the large yam that makes up his head. What's your AC?
19.
All right. He just sort of glances off the side of your leg and falls onto the ground. You taking no damage.
Ah, you little shit.
And sort of picks himself back up, ready to try it again. Yes, Aiden. And now, Tibber, it is your turn.
Okay. I will take an AOP, but I'm going to action dash here.
All right. It will attempt to slam its head into you as you turn. And actually, this time it does hit with a very high roll. I'm impressed, DMJ. I didn't think any of them would hit you. So you're going to take 2 bludgeoning damage as you feel it sort of strike at the back of your knee as you turn to run. But now you're over here. Up next to Saoirse, who looks a little bit relieved that somebody else is drawing some of the ire of these two that were terrorizing her.
Yeah, just stay up there, please. That'll be my turn.
All right. Who's number 2? You are. Okay. Next, another one of the Amdrakes scuttles its way off towards you, Gale, and is going to attempt to make a flying headbutt at you as well.
Oh dear.
What's your AC? I'm assuming it's going to hit, but you're 14, okay. So you're going to take 2 bludgeoning. As you feel this yam sprite just sort of collide with your stomach, knocking a bit of the wind out of you. And as it falls back to the earth below, it lets out this evil little cackle.
But I love yams.
Next to act is Ruva, still clutching that knife from the kitchen.
Can I use sneak attack?
Yes, as long as it obeys the rules. Your knife is going to act as a dagger, okay?
Okay.
So just, it's a dagger attack. As long as you are attacking an enemy that is currently next to someone, like this one.
Yeah.
Or this one.
I was gonna move here. I don't know where. I'm apparently not showing it. It says. Okay.
So there, for the little ruler there, you can hide it from the others, or you can show it. But I can see it no matter what.
Okay. I wanted to move here.
Okay.
And sneak attack the one on the far end.
You will have to get a little closer to be able to do that.
Okay. Okay, I'll just sneak attack the one next to.
Unless you wanted to throw your dagger.
Ooh, I need that. Okay, if I move here, can I sneak attack
The
one in front?
Yes, it just has to have another ally of yours or an enemy of the Yamdrake within 5 feet of it.
Okay, perfect.
Which Gale is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm gonna assume that you sort of made your way kind of around. You can pass through your own party members. So you kind of hopped into one of the bushes over here so that you don't take any AOPs and made your way right over here. So you can swing away at this Yamdrake here.
All right, and that's just Is that
Roll to hit, and then if you hit, then we'll roll your damage.
okay?
Was that your damage or your hit that you just rolled?
I just did over the attack thing.
It'll be the +5 is what you need to roll
Oh, okay. Hold on.
to see if you hit. And then if you do hit, then you get to roll your damage plus your sneak attack. Okay. Essentially, the way that sneak attack works is you make a normal attack and then you add the sneak attack on after. So you
Okay.
need to go back up to your dagger, roll to hit, and then if you hit, then you can roll damage. Then after all that, add your sneak attack damage on the end of it.
Okay.
It's additional damage. So first we need to decide if you hit first. So that's your +5 roll.
Except that one.
Which you do.
There we go.
You definitely do.
Max damage already. Let's go.
All right. You quickly make your way. Gail, you feel a bit of a breeze as she deftly passes right by you. And she slices quickly right through this one and just sort of cuts its head in half. And its body, made up of sort of leaves and vines, just sort of falls limp as the two halves of its head just sort of plop to the side, exposing the inner orange yam within.
Okay, and that's what I can do, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool. I have no cool quip.
At the end of your turn, Ruva, it is now Kaja's.
Okay. I'm gonna use Shillelagh on my quarterstaff. Walk up to this one right here, and then take a swing.
All right. That was a 9 to hit. You swing at it, and it ducks under you quickly. And you sort of whoosh your staff over its head as it lets out a little cackle.
And that'll be it.
All right. Then next in the turn order is Gale. The one that is near you has fallen dead to Ruva's dagger, but there's still one more next to you, Gale. What do you want to do?
Oh, thank you very much, Rue. Now maybe I'll make some yums for myself. Pull out my dagger.
An 11 to hit. You also miss.
Or maybe not. Just going to scoot this way.
You swing at the Drake in front of you as you sort of maneuver around it, but all you really slice is just one of the little leaves around its neck. You don't manage to make any contact with the potato.
I'm preparing the vegetables for you, Rue.
I don't think I need the help.
That's rude. That'll be my turn.
All right, we're gonna do some quick Drake turns because there's a lot of them. This one's going to attempt to attack you, Kaj. What's your AC?
14.
It misses.
Fog.
It does a diving headbutt at you, but you step to the side, and it just sort of rolls on past you, quickly hopping up, ready to attack once more.
I mean, all 30.
And then the one immediately in front of you that you just missed is going to also attempt to attack you. Slicing at you with one of its razor-sharp leaves. It's also going to miss. You sort of step back quickly as it slices at you with one of the leaves, and it just slices the air instead. Alright. This brings us to the ones near Tibber. As you stepped up, your imposing presence is taking priority over Saoirse, So the yam drakes near you are going to attempt to attack you instead of her. But that one's going to miss, and then that one, actually, that one hit too. Weird. I thought none of them would hit you, but 2 of them hit you. Not bad.
This one hit me.
Yep, for 2 bludgeoning.
He's dying.
All right. Which brings us to the last one. Who's gonna run towards you, Gale, but doesn't quite get there within its turn.
His little potato legs just don't quite get there.
Indeed, they're tiny. All right, which rolls us back around to the one that Ruva killed, which means that instead we go right to Tibber.
I'm gonna look at this one. You're gonna be my dinner.
Actually, very good gag, Luna. Thank you.
Swing my longsword.
All right. Oh yeah, that definitely hits. All right. So with your longsword, you cleanly slice this one in two. Both halves of the yam falling down in the grass below.
I'm gonna look back at this one and just kind of menacingly laugh at him.
The cackling from this one has stopped after that.
Kind of look up at her and just be like, just, I'm not that scary.
She looks a little bit happier now. She looked a little bit scared before, but now that one of them's dead and you're here, she looks a little more reassured.
But that'll be on my turn.
Which brings us back to Yam Drake number 2, who's going to slash at you, Ruva, with its razor sharp leaves. What's your AC?
14.
All right, it's going to hit you for 3 slashing damage.
Ooh, rude.
But immediately following up, as you feel a little cut open along your arm as it slices at you, it is now your turn to counterattack.
I can still sneak attack that one, right?
Yep, because Gale is still next to it.
Okay.
So yeah, just roll the hit again, and same thing. That hits, and with damage like that, you slice this one clean in half as well.
Perfect.
That kitchen knife truly serving its purpose. So you still have movement and everything. You can,
Movement? Okay, yeah.
of course,
I
yeah.
was gonna say-
You can use your movement at any point during your turn. You can even break it up. You can move 10 feet and then 20 feet after you attack. So movement can happen at any point during your turn, as long as you move within your own movement speed.
Okay, I'm gonna move here.
All right.
That's it.
Then that brings us to you, Kaj. You're now surrounded by 2 yam drakes. You've missed them and they've missed you. Just a big whole whiff fest over here, but maybe you can change that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take another swing at the one right in front of me.
Gotcha. That will hit.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, you have made mashed potatoes as this one just sort of completely explodes as you smash it in the head with your staff, and it just kind of the vines fall limp, but the potato sort of scatters across the grass off in this distance over here.
I'm gonna pull my mashed potato covered staff and point it at the other one.
So
And then my turn.
There we go. All right. That brings us to Gale.
Can't be the only one not to get a kill. Don't want a goose. I'm gonna go for this one.
All right.
Nice.
19 will hit,
6
and
damage.
6 damage will slice this one right in half.
Hooray!
As Kaj, the other one that was rearing up to attack you again, falls limp to the floor from Gale's dagger.
See, I can do it too. Sometimes. And then I'll step once more. And then it'll be my turn.
Understood. Alrighty then. Updating the M drinks. That brings us to this EM drink. I was going to slice at you with its razor sharp leaves, Tibber. But it's not going to hit.
What was that?
Which brings us to this one. He's going to attack you, Gil. You're a 14, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter because it rolled a 1.
Oh, thank goodness.
It stabs itself with its leaf.
It's the ground.
Yeah, you see it slices at you with one of its leaves. You see it open up a little slice along the top of its forehead there. See some orange peeking through as it misses. Which brings us all the way back around to Tibber.
All right. This thing's gonna get long sworded.
It will. All right. Spinning around after this one sort of just glances off you, you're going to swing with your longsword and slice it in two.
I'm gonna look back at her. Don't move. I'll help you.
She just sort
He's
of
gonna go,
nods furiously.
and then he's gonna just go here and then his turn.
Okay. Ruva, it's your turn.
I can sneak attack from here, right?
If you want to throw your dagger, you can.
Ooh. I'll move here then.
All right. You run up next to it.
Ooh, no.
Meets beats, so you are going to still hit,
Nice.
Wow.
but just barely.
Wait, was that sneak attack though? How did that not?
That was just to see if you hit.
Sneak
Oh,
attack is
okay.
just damage.
Sneak attack just affects the damage. So you roll your damage and then you sneak attack damage too.
Nice.
All right.
Oh,
It was calculating it for you there, so we'll use the 3. Don't worry. This time, since you only barely just hit, you don't slice it cleanly in half. You sort of stab right through it, and then pull your kitchen knife back out, with a bit of residue left over, as it falls limp to the ground.
Aruva just wipes the kitchen knife on her sleeve and says, "I hate it when dinner gets feisty."
So looking around, the 4 of you, you feel peace once again returned to the gardens out back of the orphanage. Glancing around, you see that all of the yam drakes are now dead.
How tall is this hay bale?
Sorry, what?
How tall is this hay bale she's on?
Just about 5 feet.
Okay, so he'll kind of just drop his sword and shield and just kind of hold his arms out.
With you helping her, she sort of jumps off of it and lands out in front and says, "Thank you all.
Looks like we got some more for dinner.
I thought they were gonna slice me up with those leaves."
Sorry, they hardly hurt. How big are these things? Like in size?
But yeah, how big are
No taller than your knees.
they? Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up these two then that are right here. Just like under one arm each.
Yeah, Ruva grabs the one.
I'm gonna pick
in
up a couple
front of
next to
her.
me too.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll get these two.
Just starts dragging it inside.
Yeah, the potatoes that make up their heads are definitely larger than your normal yam. So you grab a couple of them. You can maybe grab 2 each if you wanted to.
Yep.
That's fine.
And make your way back inside.
I have the perfect dish for this. It's gonna be delicious, guys.
Man, I'm
Potato
hungry.
pie?
Mashed one. Sorry about that.
Yeah. It's still edible. I can work with it.
I'll eat that one.
So the 4 of you make your way back into the dining chambers, with Saoirse following suit.
Gonna have to drop the bodies off, right?
We're just gonna plop them on the table.
Sister Amandine turns to pause for a moment from what she's doing and says, "Oh, heavens, I see the sprites are back in the garden."
Just means more dinner.
"Yes, I suppose an extra dish wouldn't hurt."
Lady Amelie has blessed us with a harvest.
"Indeed."
Speaking of that, how much longer is it for dinner?
So the events of the sort of afternoon have eaten up a bit of your day. Tibber and Kaj, when you guys arrived back at the orphanage with your produce, it was a little past midday, but now it's rolled around to maybe 4 o'clock, 4:30. You can kind of feel your stomach gurgle a little bit with hunger as you approach dinner.
Go back to helping Luna set the table.
Yeah.
Oh crap, I
Ruva
forgot the table.
Sorry about that, Luna.
She's sort of done a little bit of progress on it, but it's not quite done yet.
He's gonna, like, I don't know what you call it, get Ceres' attention real quick. Are you all good then?
Yes, I think I'm all right. I don't know if I would have been if you all hadn't come along, but I'm all right.
He'll kind of like walk around her a little, like looking, like, did you get any cuts or anything?
She just kind of see her check herself over, looking at her arms and stuff, and then she just kind of touches her cheeks. I don't have any, do I?
I don't see any, but kind of small, so I don't know.
All right, I think I'll be fine. I'm going to help the others set the table.
Yeah, table. He's gonna go in and plop his feet up here.
So the others, you managed to Ruva helping a bit in the kitchen to prepare some of the yam drakes and make them edible. And Saoirse and Luna help Kaj and Gale, you two, finish up setting the table. And a little more time passes, and you can definitely smell from the kitchen that something is beginning to smell pretty good.
Oh, man. better hurry up with that food, man. Starving.
So with the table set, you need to wait a little longer for the food to be ready, as well as your dinner guest to arrive. So you can do with this time what you wish. Ruva, if you want to help cook for the rest of the time, you have about maybe 40 minutes before dinner's ready. If you want to help cook, you are perfectly allowed to do that.
Yeah, they're having too much fun preparing the meal.
All right. The others you can do with this time what you wish.
Huber's just kind of like chill in the kitchen, like shooting shit, really. Just kind of like picking at things.
Hey, Tibbs, can you potentially straighten up all of those logs though, if you're gonna stand right next to them?
Uh, I mean, I guess I could try. He's just gonna kind of kick them a little bit, just kind of like towards each other, like sort of like kick them from this way and this way, so they're just kind of like piled up. Is that good?
Ruva just looks over and exasperatedly just says, "It's better."
He's gonna sit down on the floor here and look at the fire. That's
I
all
was
he's
gonna
gonna
go,
do.
I was gonna go tell Mother about what happened with the sprites.
All right. She just kind of goes, "Oh dear, the sprites in the garden again, eh? Well, it's good that you all took care of them."
Al did a good job coming to get us. Also,
So the four of you just sort of spend a little bit more of the afternoon getting various things ready, tidying up a little bit, relaxing a little bit, and then eventually, as it rolls around to maybe 5:30, Mother Margaret is going to arrive to gather you all up. She makes her way back into the dining area where most of you are hanging out, and says, all right. How's everything back here then?" She checks out and
all
says,
set.
Good. The table's all set. All right.
Luna helped us out with that.
Thank you for your help, Luna. And then she makes her way over to check in on the kitchen and says, "Smells delicious in here. How is dinner coming along? Almost ready?"
Yep, I think the shepherd's pie's almost done.
Good.
Mashed
Good.
yam.
Lady Sullivan will be here any moment now. So, once everything is ready, if you all could just sort of take your places at the dining table for her arrival. And she explains that to the rest of you as well. That once you're done with your tasks and everything is straightened up, to just grab a seat at the dining table for her arrival. And then she makes her way back to the main hall to go and eventually greet the guest.
Huber's gonna stand up and kind of like wipe off his butt. Do you guys need help carrying anything?
Have you washed your hands?
No.
I think we're okay then.
Okay. He's gonna peek back, like just head behind the door. Are you sure?
Wash your hands and then we'll talk.
He'll just grumble. Like, oh, I guess. I mean, where do you do that?
There's some wash
Ooh.
tubs up in the bathroom if you needed to wash your hands.
Or up some stairs though. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go sit down.
Yeah, that's pretty far away for some water, I'll be honest.
And riling up the kitchen tipper.
Well, no, I like the fire. Do we have like assigned seating?
Nope. Everybody just sort of grabs seats that are open and shifts around from time to time.
Ruva makes sure that they're all set in the kitchen and then goes to join the rest.
Again, he'll put his feet up.
Slowly throughout the next couple minutes, you see the rest of the kids begin to sort of pile in, all grabbing places at open seats in the dining hall. You hold Alt to drag yourself off the grid. Alrighty. Who are we missing? Ed.
No. Oh.
Okay, come sit here, Ed. There you go. Good lad. Still missing
Where's Elizabeth?
Sister Elizabeth.
Okay.
She's allowed to eat dinner. And then that just leaves... Oh, you're over there. Okay. Sister Amandine will sort of begin to bring out some various dishes just to kind of get everything ready. And then after a few moments of just sort of a bunch of the kids just kind of talking amongst themselves, a bit of rabble, you hear the door out in the hall open once more. And through the doorway of the dining hall, you see Mother Margaret, and she is accompanied by another elderly woman. And following the other elderly woman through the door is a rather stern-looking, middle-aged man. And you recognize these people, as they have they come about once a year to the orphanage to eat dinner with you and sort of make sure that everything is all right here and that nothing needs seeing to. You recognize the woman as Sindra Sullivan, called Lady Sullivan by most. And the man who accompanies her, of course, is her butler, Diarmid. And Sindra walks in and sees all of you ready at the dinner table and says, how are you all then, kids? Doing well? You all look so much older than when I last saw you last year. But everybody looks so healthy. That's good. And she sort of makes her way along the table, saying small greetings to each of the kids. The butler just following silently along behind. And takes a place at the far end of the table. And Sister Amandine will begin to sort of busy herself, bringing out plate after plate of the dinner that you guys have prepared. It's a much more elaborate dinner than you usually do. Things are usually pretty simple, just soups or stews. But today you're having a nicer meal with some sides, a shepherd's pie, and roasted pork. A couple different options for dinner tonight. And Sister Amandine sort of brings in each of the trays, placing them down at different places along the table. And eventually, once everyone is ready, she takes her own place at the table. So everybody's seated now except for the butler, who simply just stands, arms crossed, in the corner of the room, silently. So once everybody's seated and ready, with all the food before them, Mother Margaret speaks up and says, "Now then, everyone, thanks, as always, to our dearest benefactor, Lady Sullivan, for her very gracious donations to the Stony Brook Orphanage. Without her donations, we would not be able to operate this orphanage. So again, many thanks to you, Sindra." And across the end of the table, Sindra Sullivan is just sort of waving one of her hands, just saying, "Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry. I'm happy to help out and support such a good cause." And then Mother Margaret says, "Before we eat, everyone, let us say thanks to the goddess Melina for the food that we have before us today." And she just sort of bows her head a little bit in prayer. And a lot of the kids also follow suit. It's tradition at dinner time to say the small prayer. And after a moment of silence, she says, "All right then, you must all be quite hungry, so dig in." And a bunch of the kids just immediately start grabbing food from different plates and filling their own little plates as everybody digs into this much nicer feast than they're used to. Everybody looks forward to this day each year because the dinner is much nicer when your guest is arriving.
Tuber's gonna like pipe up and kind of like while like scanning the kids. Oi, big guy first. While he's like reaching over, just grabbing food.
There's plenty for all of us, Tiber. Take your time.
I guess.
So each of you grab your favorite foods and what appeals to you from the various dishes spread throughout the table. Everybody's pretty used to this routine, with it happening yearly. The kids pass the plates along to whoever wants a specific dish, down the line, up and down, from the north end of the table to the south and back, as everybody sort of grabs what they want from each of the dishes. And Sindra just sort of happily making conversation with the people on her end of the table, asking about how things are at the orphanage, making sure that everybody is, nobody's sick and nobody's unhappy or anything like that. As
Eva is on her best behavior.
all right. Everybody just sort of happily eating. The first maybe 10 minutes of dinner are relatively silent, as everybody's just kind of busy filling their faces. And then after the first 10 minutes or so, once everybody's kind of gotten a little bit more full, a bit more conversation springs up with everybody talking amongst themselves. Various things, Saoirse and Niall talking about the excitement of the day of the Yam Drakes attacking. Leon bragging to Rory quietly so that Mother Margaret doesn't hear about chopping wood. Young Eddard telling Luna all about the book that he's reading. and more as conversation just sort of naturally happens as everybody eats dinner for the night. And this isn't Class of Crows, so I won't make you sit through all of dinner. Dinner progresses pretty peacefully and pleasantly as the dishes begin to empty themselves, and after a while everybody begins to get a little bit more full, and the eating begins to sort of die down, and the conversation just sort of continues, but occasionally some of the kids will filter out as they don't like to, a little bit too energetic to remain at the table for long periods of time. So some of the younger kids who have a bit more energy get up from the table. After Mother Margaret excuses them, they take their plates off to the kitchen and then go and do their own thing. And as everyone begins to filter out, the sisters, Elizabeth and Amandine, begin to clean up some of the plates around the table, grabbing dishes that are empty and bringing them off to the kitchen. And slowly but surely, everybody begins to filter out. Mother Margaret excuses them, and then they go off to the end of the table and say their thanks to Lady Sullivan, and then excuse themselves and head off to do their own thing. Oh yeah, Kelly. Kelly, you open your pouch and that spider's still crawling around inside.
Oh, good. I was worried he died from the potato he attacked me.
No, the potato didn't hit your pouch, so it's still crawling around. But slowly but surely, all the younger kids kind of filter out, each saying thanks to Lady Sullivan, and then heading off to go do their own thing. Eventually just sort of leaving you older kids alone, just kind of talking quietly with Mother Margaret. And as dinner begins to end and the table is cleared, Sindra just sort of looks across at the four of you, the sort of oldest generation in the orphanage, and says, if you didn't mind, and if you have the time, I'd actually like to speak with you if that's all right.
Here? Or...
Yes, we can speak here if you wish. We can grab a seat right here.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Mother Margaret kind of busies herself helping out with clearing the table. There, you can all sit. You can sit together.
Over here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Take a seat across.
Everyone's
Right out, gang.
Sindra just starts like, "Hey guys, how are you today?"
move to the other side. After a few minutes, they find their seats.
I didn't know I started a wave here.
All right, all four of you eventually grab seats along with Sindra, who sits across from you and says, now then, the four of you are probably very aware that you're reaching the age in which you age out of the orphanage. Yes?
Yeah, you don't gotta remind me.
Nod back to her.
It's, well, it's quite an important moment in your lives, and, well, I imagine it's a bit nerve-wracking as well, and a little sad, too. I imagine you're experiencing a bit of a mix of emotions. Have any of you given any thought as to what exactly you want to do after you leave the orphanage?
Well, I don't have a plan, but kind of just want to protect these guys really.
I see. Sounds like a noble goal.
Thought about it too much.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being unsure. No one will blame you. But
I don't think I have anything specific, but considering how much I have to keep an eye on Tibbs and Gil, chances are I should probably keep doing that for a while.
Oh,
Yo,
what?
You don't gotta keep an eye on me.
What did I do?
I'm keeping an eye on you.
Rue just laughs.
well, it sounds like you four all have a good rapport with each other. Well, the reason that I bring this up is if the four of you are unsure of what you wish to do, I may actually have work for the four of you.
Like, paid work?
Indeed.
Oh, I'm interested.
What kind?
Well, I won't spoil the evening going into details on work tonight, but if you are interested in doing a little job for me, then stop by my manor in town, on the eastern end of town, in the next few days, and I'll speak to you more then.
Thank
Okay.
you for this gracious offer.
Do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I needed a small group to perform a task for me, and the four of you seem quite up to the task. And, well, if you get along together and work well together, then that should only make things go smoother. From behind her, the middle-aged man, her butler, speaks up for the first time all night and says, "Milady, we really should be getting back now." And she says, yes, it is beginning to get a little late, and after the trip back, I will be a bit exhausted, so I'm going to say goodnight to you all now, then.
Yeah, hope you make it back safe.
She kind of pulls...
Pleasant
Good.
Just pleasant journey, and may Lady Lena look after you.
And to you as well. You all have a good night. And if you decide to take me up on my offer, I'll be seeing you in the next couple of days.
That's good. Thank you for doing this.
The butler just sort of nods to you all, doesn't say anything, as he follows Lady Sullivan out of the room.
Oh, he's a bit of a stick in the mud.
I was surprised he could talk.
What I was saying.
He didn't even
Such
eat.
boring.
We had a chair and everything.
I know. I kind of took that a little personally.
Did you eat this portion, Tibba?
I mean, probably, honestly.
Usually it's enough for two anyways.
I'm a big boy.
So what do you all make of that?
Sounds interesting, honestly.
It sounds vague.
Cinder's been
Honestly,
nice to
I
the
just want to
orphanage.
go and.
Has money involved too.
True. May need some griffins.
Yeah, it could be a good first step at least. I mean, she's rich. She
Earning-
probably has connections.
Earning griffins isn't everything, though.
Helping her by
certainly
extension
helps,
is helping
though.
everybody here.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, we are kind of poor. She's not, so
To say the least.
Well, if we're doing it to help the orphanage, we have to make sure we don't make a mistake.
I mean, I don't ever plan on making mistakes.
Well, if we don't want to make mistakes, we should probably leave Tibbs behind.
I was about to say, don't let him do it. Like the logs.
I-
How'd those go?
What do you mean?
Do you
Those
actually
logs were-
stack them?
No.
That's not my part of the deal. They were perfectly split.
Listen, he's good at chopping, not stacking.
Exactly. See, he gets it.
He has to play to his strengths, definitely.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but it was pretty pristine.
No, I was too busy doing my own chores.
Oh, like folding a bed.
What's
Holding
that?
a
in the
bed.
Yours
pouch?
too. Oh, by the way, we found your food.
Yeah, don't take any up to
Well-
your bed after this time.
You had food in your bed?
But like I said, I'm hungry. Okay.
Don't
There's
worry,
only
it's
one
gone.
dinner.
Smelled horrible.
You eat so much at dinner.
But, look, when you are doing so much like me, you'll get hungry. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
okay, I won't
It's a
I won't do
hard
it again.
job.
I won't do it again.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, if you do it again, at least stack the wood. That way we know at least you're doing your job.
Yeah. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Wash your hands.
Okay.
All joking aside, I'm okay with doing that if you guys are.
It's fine. As long as we get to go out and look around.
Honestly, I have nothing better to do.
Hmm.
I don't want to just garden all my life.
But you're so good at it.
It's so boring.
Hmm.
Oh,
Not
n-
when the gardening plants come to life. That was pretty fun.
Out in the hallway, out in the hallway, as Tibbs, as you make your way off towards the main hall, you run into Sister Amandine, who's finished up a bit of the cleaning, and says, "Where are you going then, Tiver?"
I had to go to the bathroom.
All right, but you're gonna miss the sunset.
Oh, you're right. Okay. I didn't have to go that bad.
Go grab
They
the
were making
others.
Fun of me in there. Okay. Are we done chit chatting in here?
Oh, it's pretty quick. Did you wash your hands?
I didn't go.
We
Uh,
talked about this dinner.
Look, something about a sunset. I don't want to miss it.
Oh, sunset. Okay.
That's right.
You should really not hold that.
I'll just go outside.
But you
Oh,
can't
God.
wash your hands.
I'll find
You're gonna have to
something.
do it eventually.
Was he gonna wash his hands, Riva?
So Sister Amandine, heads with the four of you off towards the front door to the orphanage. Let me grab you. Big. There we go. As it's become a bit of a tradition with some of the older kids, your sort of generation at the orphanage, to climb up onto the roof of the old orphanage and watch the sunset.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And occasionally some of the sisters join you as they're a little closer to your age. They're maybe 2-3 years older than you. All right. So you make your way out, back out front of the orphanage. It's getting a little darker out. You can see that the sun is now low in the sky and getting ready to set. Oh. And the DM double checks what side he put the ladder on. Okay, it's the other side. All right, west, everyone. As the five of you, Sister Almandine accompanying, make your way along the side of the orphanage to the ladder that you use to get up onto the roof. Occasionally, it just needs a bit of repair on some of the shingles. That's sort of the intention of the old ladder, but you guys have taken to using it for your own purposes. Let's delete Leon. Delete. There we go. Everybody. And you make your way along the side of the orphanage towards the old ladder. Climbing maybe about 20 or so feet up to the roof of the orphanage.
I'll let y'all go first.
Gale, as you arrive at the top, a couple birds fly away from your presence and flap their way off into the distance along the countryside.
Oh boy.
And slowly but surely, you all make your way up on top of the roof, as is tradition for the four of you, occasionally accompanied by some of the nuns, to gather and watch the sunset.
Pog.
And so the four of you, who are all reaching sort of the end of your stay at the orphanage, have an entire life past the orphanage that is only just beginning. And as you gaze out at the sunset beyond, you are faced with endless possibility. As your entire lives are ahead of you, and you can do with them what you will. Use that time to
Just
talk about
picturing, like, a-
some strange creature called a ho-oh, which none of us are
Like
familiar
a
with.
chocolate fucking treat, just like flying by.
What is that?
Perfectly poignant. So with that, let's take a short little break. Let's grab some water, grab a snack, go to the bathroom if you need to. It's just been 2 hours, so let's take a small break. This is a good little pause moment.
Off into
Grab
the
some water. Be right back.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Be right back.
All right, Chad, I'll be right back real quick too. No, I don't need any prep. I had this ready for a while. I don't need any prep right now. I just went to go get more water. How you guys doing, chat? This has been a really good session so far. Tons of fun. Yeah, it definitely is a good tool. If you need a little bit of emergency prep, the party does something that you don't know, you weren't expecting, and then you don't know what to do about. You just go take a bathroom break and think about it for an extra 2 minutes. Exactly, yeah, Triple J. Definitely a useful little tool. Yeah, this group's great, and it's been a ton of fun so far. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of this campaign because it. From the time that I started writing it, it's changed quite a bit and kind of gone in some different directions that I wasn't expecting. But it definitely shaped up really well and is in a place that I'm really happy with. So, also while we're just hanging out, art in the bottom right corner there, that symbol that we use for Silversong was done by our very own Charlie Chorn, who some might know as Sybil from Whispers in the Woods on Wednesdays at 7.
I'm back.
Commissioned her to do that Silversong shield, the emblem for the campaign.
Really nice. I
Oh,
like it.
Sybil did that?
That's dope.
Yeah, Sybil did that.
Oh, that's so
I
cool.
said what did what?
The Silversong shield that's in the bottom right of the stream and in the beginning opening
Oh,
thing.
Our
shit,
logo, bud.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, I saw her do the little honorary slime knight meme for Hearth at Home, and I was like, all right, now I got to commission her to do some campaign art because I liked that shield. So yeah, that's Sybil or Charlie Charn on Twitter. You can go look at all her art. She does lots of art for various things, even just for her own fun. If you're in the Discord, oh yeah, here while we're sitting around. If you are in the Discord, which you are welcome to join. Oh, thank you. You got to it before me. You can see some more of our art in our art channel because it's pretty much always very high quality. But we have lots of artists on the server, and they're all really good. So yeah, I just wanted to take a second to mention that because I really like how that little emblem ended up looking. Are we missing anybody?
Don't think so.
Nope.
Okay. Every time I pull up to check to see if anybody's like muted, not yet. Share. We don't have one yet because I didn't want any spoilers about anything that might happen in the first session. So I'll make a command for yeah, if I was ahead of the game, if I was on top of things and trying to do it early, then there'd be spoilers in there. So I'll do it for probably next session to kind of give a basic summary of what's going on. Every time I pull up the Discord to see if anyone was muted, I just see them talking in general about chicken nuggets and cooking them with Molotovs.
The most
So-
efficient way.
Join the Discord if you want to join in on that. But yeah, so the four of you watched the sun go down with Sister Amandine. And as it begins to get dark, it's about time to... yeah, now they're having it in the chat. But as it begins to get dark, it's about time to sort of head up to bed. You imagine that most of the kids may have already began to get settled in for bed, as they typically go to bed a little earlier than the four of you guys do.
Well, I am enjoying everyone's I don't know, presence here. I do have to get off this roof before it gets any darker.
I think I might have eaten too much.
You definitely ate too much.
Kind of tired.
Timber, catch me.
Okay.
No, sister.
He jumped.
and then Gale breaks his leg and has to stay home from the campaign.
Yeah, roll for acrobatics. Like,
But the five of you climb down off the roof and make your way back. You can head north or you can head south. Either way, you'll get back inside.
Looks like they have a plan.
And
Actually, before we go in, is that hand axe still here?
yep, take it with you if
I'll
you want.
grab it. Yeah.
That's why it's there.
Figured.
Yeah, I had the fun task of about a week ago hiding weapons around an orphanage. But yeah, so you two head north, but the others make their way around.
Hey, gosh. These plants are beautiful.
They are beautiful. You're right.
I want to know who planted them.
You didn't?
No.
It wasn't me. Was it you, Gil?
Sister Elizabeth usually tends to the flowers.
Nope, not me. Sorry, I'm snacking on a bread.
Oh, you got extra?
It was yours to begin with. I took it from your room, your bedroom.
What?
You
You
ate
took
that.
my bed bread? You're lucky I'm full.
Gale, it was moldy.
That's alright, I peeled it off.
Ew.
Here, let's get rid of a bunch of people. Go to bed, kids. So most of the kids have headed off to the second floor to bed. Really just Mother Margaret now remains down in the main hall of the orphanage. Just kind of sitting quietly by herself.
Still awake, mother?
Ah, yes. Just last few things to organize, and you know how it is. Off to bed then?
Yeah, I'm a bit full.
It's
Groggish.
been a long day, so you all need your sleep.
I just like peek over the couch and then it's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm heading up too.
All right, the two of you head upstairs. Rufa, what are you up to?
Basically, Ruva's just gonna do a quick check of the back garden just to make sure nothing weird's happening over there, and then probably gonna go to a little place where they had like a little cache of items hidden over by the little shed thing.
All right, Sister Amandine kind of walked along with you, but she kind of makes her way to the door and says, "Staying out a bit longer then."
Yep, I'll be in just a second.
All right, well, good night if I don't see you.
Good night.
And she heads inside.
It should, I don't know, it should be somewhere in the
All right.
thing.
Yeah, in the old shed, you've stashed away a few things. Also, in the old shed is a couple more items. There's like some old shovels and stuff that you use that people around the orphanage use to tend to the garden and various chores, as well as some sacks of soil for the garden, some hay bales. There's also a short bow that is occasionally used for hunting in the forest to the north. If food is ever particularly low at the orphanage. And quiver with 5 arrows just kind of sitting next to it.
Okay, they're gonna grab the short bow and quiver as well.
All right.
And then they're just gonna go back inside after making sure again everything's fine.
All right. There's still some yam kind of smeared throughout the grass, but some birds are kind of pecking at it.
Yeah,
But,
she just kind of like smiles.
The rest is mostly peaceful. It's dark out now after dusk, and you feel a bit of a chill wind sweep across the riverlands.
Yeah, they can't see, so they go inside.
All right. I don't want to drag every single child portrait onto the beds. Just pretend they're sleeping.
Can Ruva have the bed in the red bed in the corner?
Yep. You guys get to pick because you're the actual players. The NPCs don't get to pick.
Bed's taken.
And Ruva arriving a little after everyone else.
And gigantic.
I like just finished in the bathroom and I'm heading out.
Tips.
Don't
Did you wash your hands?
Yeah. Fine.
Ah.
like-
She waits there to make sure.
He like sheepishly washes his hands, but not too severe. Fine, I did.
Thank you.
You wanna check?
I saw, so it's okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Good night, Tibbs.
Good night. He's gonna jump over the the pot of that and just kind of land.
All right. Most of the younger kids are in bed. You can hear some of them snoring. Yeah, the bed shatters.
It probably would, honestly.
Is there a
You
durability
hear
check?
it struggle as it bends.
But each of you, you can do whatever you want before you go to bed. If you feel you read or gather your things or do anything like that. But with darkness kind of rolling around, it is time to fall gently to sleep after a bit of a long day.
I'm just gonna read until he falls asleep.
All right. Anyone
He's
else?
He just kind of lays there
Yep.
with the little magnifying glass he has, just kind of looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, Gale lays on the other side of the bed to face the window, and he just kind of grabs his pillow and sits there and looks outside.
All right.
Like a creep. No. Ruva's just looks like she's sleeping.
Okay. Then one by one, each of you drifts off to bed, and a little bit passes, but it's not too late into the night when Kaj, with the highest passive perception, you hear some noises downstairs coming from the main hall. Sounds like somebody maybe talking. So it wakes you up from your slumber. You can wake others up if you wish to, but you're kind of the only one who is jolted awake by it.
I'm gonna pat Tibbers awake with like motion for him to be quiet.
What?
There's someone talking downstairs.
Yeah.
Want to go see what's going on?
I guess. I mean, she's probably just the old lady. Do you want to get Gale or?
I'll get Gale if you get Ruva.
Yeah. Oh
But-
God. Okay.
Be quiet.
So if you want to go to the girls' room without waking anybody else up, you can make a stealth check.
Ah, shit.
He walks in the door. Ruva immediately wakes up.
Oh, let's go.
I do you feel that you sleep in your armor?
Oh. Actually, no,
'Cause-
he probably only just has that white undershirt on.
Yeah, so I wouldn't make you roll with disadvantage then. We use a 15. You creak the door open and kind of stop for a second because you're worried it might wake somebody up, and then continue a little bit, and then kind of quietly creep your way over towards Ruva's bed.
He's just gonna slap her leg.
Ruva wakes up and brandishes the knife.
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh. Oh, Tips. What are you doing in here?
Something's going on downstairs.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pat Gale awake. There's something going on downstairs. We're gonna go check it out. Do you want to come?
Okay.
He did grab his sword though, so he only has his sword.
All right.
You just have your sword under your bed.
Well-
My man.
Yeah, I mean, where else am I gonna keep it?
We should probably let Ruba go first. She's
Why?
sneaky.
Because
Nice,
I'm
nice, quiet,
sneaky,
Tibber.
sneaky.
I didn't wake up anyone in there.
You woke me up.
Well, that was the point.
Give me up.
Fine. Whatever.
Just whisper, Tibber.
I'm sorry. I'm in work.
This is Timber's whispering.
All right. So, with Ruva sort of leading the way a little bit, the four of you kind of creep your way down the stairs partially. If you make your way about halfway down the stairs, you can sort of peer out at what's going on beyond without being too visible. And as you begin to kind of make your way further down the stairs, you can hear those voices get a bit louder and begin to actually make out what they're saying. One is Mother Margaret's voice. She sounds a little bit more annoyed. You've kind of heard her use this voice when some of the younger kids are misbehaving a little bit. She sounds a little more stern, a little more angry. And the other is coming kind of from beyond the door. The door is kind of slightly ajar. And it's a male's voice. And as you sort of make your way down the stairs, you sort of catch the end of part of what Mother Margaret is saying. For the last time, I'm not interested. Just go on back wherever you came from, and that's final, all right? And then you kind of hear the man's voice from beyond the door. Come now. Just a small talk. Very simple, and then I'll be out of your hair. I told you already, no. So, just leave, and we'll leave it at that, understand? But the man seems a little more insistent. You can actually see the door that's slightly ajar. Mother Margaret appears to be kind of holding it shut, almost.
Ooh.
What would you guys like to do?
Start walking
Uh,
towards it.
With no subterfuge, Ruva will just walk right on up.
All right. Mother Margaret hears the four of you all approach and says, "I apologize if I woke you."
We got a problem here.
And she says, just a fellow who keeps popping by the orphanage at night and wants to have a discussion with me. I told him I'm not interested, but he's a little too insistent for my tastes.
Well, why don't we talk to him instead? And then once he gets an answer, he can go away and he'll never have to come back.
Yeah, why don't we take this outside?
Sure,
Kind of
come
push
on.
through the door and push the guy a little bit.
The door swings open and you get a better look at him. He's wearing kind of leathers and looks a bit gnarled. He's got a couple scars on his face that you can see. He looks a little bit taken aback, not expecting there to be more people here. Certainly not a half-orc holding a sword. And says, "Whoa now, friend, I don't want any trouble."
Did I say there was trouble?
Well, walk up with a sword and you look like you might be asking for it, and there's no trouble to be found here, I assure you.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's just Tibbs's walking stick. It's totally fine. We're only here to talk. Mother, do you want to go to bed or something? We
I'll,
can take it from here.
I'll be alright, Tiri. I think I should stick around.
Ruva tries to be very persuasive. Oh, no. There's no reason for that. And you have to be up really early. We can definitely take care of this for you. That's why we're here.
You can make a persuasion roll if you want, though she is relatively insistent. She seems like she wants to stay here. So it might be a little hard, but you can attempt to. That was stealth.
Whoops.
Pretty good roll, though.
Persuasion? No.
She seems pretty insistent on staying. She doesn't want to leave you guys alone with anyone who might cause trouble.
What can I see through this window?
You look out the window. It's a little dark, Gale, but you can kind of see in the night surroundings. You don't see anybody else out there. You can't quite see him. He's kind of standing up against the door, so it's a little hard at that angle to see the man. But you don't see anybody else outside. Seems to have come alone.
No, I didn't. Thought I said we're taking this outside.
We don't want to wake anybody up.
Yes,
The
let's
Right, friend?
go outside.
All right. The man kind of takes a couple steps back down the stairs. So you can follow if you want to.
Yeah,
I'll follow him downstairs.
Yep, Ruva's following. Also, huge smile on her face.
All right. Let me just copy all that here. So following him out kind of into the night. He's taking a couple steps backwards, still facing you. He's holding kind of his hands up, showing you that he's not holding any weapons or anything. As you follow him out onto sort of the front porch of the orphanage. Mother Margaret kind of is keeping close behind.
Once he gets there, Tipper will just stand here and kind of point the sword into the ground, just kind of holding it like a statue.
Can I produce flame to just light up the area around us?
Yeah, if you want to. As you all sort of, Tibber kind of standing firm and Kaj creating some fire, the man just still holding his hands up and still kind of smiling at you all, just says, "Again, I don't want any trouble, so if you all are eager to get off to bed, I'll just be going."
No, please tell us what you need so that we can take care of this now. That way there aren't any problems later and in the future. That way you can get out what you need to be said, and then we can go from there.
Nonsense. I won't keep you up any later than I need to. I'll just be going now. And with that, he begins to turn and walk off down the path.
I promise, if I see you again, It's not going to be the same. It's your last chance.
You just kind of see him just wave his arm, and you can actually kind of hear him whistling as he walks off down the path into the night.
Have a wonderful night.
And eventually, further down the path, he just sort of vanishes off into the darkness, still whistling as it kind of fades into silence and the night air around you.
So we'll take a step forward and look back at everyone.
Are we following him?
I don't know why he was here.
What did he want, Mother?
Well, he's visited a couple times before. He always says that he just wants to sit down and have a chat. But, well, no one coming around that late. No one coming around that late at night has any good intentions in mind. So I always tell him to come back in the morning or come back in the afternoon. And he never does. He always comes late at night. So I always send him away.
Hey, it's a wee bit strange.
Indeed.
Somebody looking like that doesn't look like he wants to talk.
Indeed.
Unless he can't come during the day. Maybe he works long hours.
If it's
Why wouldn't he
important
just say
he
that?
keeps coming back, then
You have a pretty good chance right now.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
everybody has their days off.
Well, can anyone still hear the whistle? We could potentially follow him and definitely make him tell us what he needs, and then we can answer him.
The whistling is faded to silence pretty much. You just kind of hear crickets and the occasional owl in the environment around you.
We're not criminals. Not yet.
Criminals?
Yeah.
Who said anything about
Yeah.
crime?
Yet.
Well, he hasn't done anything.
I want him to say what he wants. That way we know what he wants, and then he can stop bothering us in the middle of the night. How is that a crime?
Well, it didn't seem like he wanted to talk, so forcing it out of him, well,
I mean, to be fair, you had your sword out.
It's his walking
um,
stick, Gale.
It's a
I'm
mighty
really-
intimidating walking stick.
hey, look, man, I'm really protecting this place.
I
Some
mean, we
random
can't
dude
find
comes up-
information out if you just intimidate your way through trying to
I-
protect people. You gotta be a
I-
little more subtle sometimes.
Look, I like
Subtle?
to keep this sword on me. I mean, I can't really hide it. I don't have my sheath.
I don't think Tibbs can be subtle.
Yeah, that too.
For context, it's maybe around 11 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
And Mother Margaret says, all right, you four, I think that's enough excitement for the night. I'm going to lock both the doors, so if you all want to get back to bed.
Yeah, I'll stay on
Can
the
I
couch.
stay and read by the fire for a while?
I suppose so, if you wish.
Thanks, Mother.
Take another look out and then put the flame out and walk in.
Let me delete that again. There we go.
We're just gonna like sprawl out on the couch, leaving like no room.
Seriously?
Oh, what? There's a chair.
Whatever.
Gosh, you gonna go check the back door.
All right. Actually, Mother Margaret will walk with you. You can kind of look out the back door and kind of see if there's anyone out there, but there isn't anyone.
Okay.
And after taking a bit of a peek out there, and you assure Mother Margaret that you don't see anyone, you close the door behind you, and then she pulls a small key from her robes and locks the door and makes her way back out towards the main hall.
T-Bird's gonna he's gonna walk upstairs and bring his armor and shield and just kind of lay it here, but then he's gonna go back to laying on the bed or on the couch.
All right. Mother Margaret's going to make her way up to the third floor where her room is. But you all can...
Yeah, Ruva's gonna stay up and watch the door, but also make it look like she's not staying up and watching the door.
He was just
I
gonna
was
sleep
just
on the
gonna
couch.
make a very light flame and just double check, make sure all the orphans are still there.
Yep. They're all just kind of still asleep. Didn't really manage to wake them up with any of the noise that you guys are making.
Good thing, because they went invisible for a while. Couldn't see them in their beds.
Gail, what are you,
Woke up from Tibber. That surprised me.
Gail, what are you up to?
Just not subtly looking out the window, staying up for a bit.
All right. Yeah, the three of you down here in the main hall stay up a little bit, and nothing else eventful happens. You don't hear any knocks at the door. You don't hear any noises from outside. It's just sort of a quiet night. And if you want to, you can drift off to sleep eventually, as you stay up for another hour or two waiting to hear anything, but don't hear anything at all. And Gail, you don't see anything out of the window.
Yeah, I don't think Ruva's sleeping tonight.
All right.
Tibber is absolutely just gone. He's snoring like
Gail's gonna go lay on Tipper, fall asleep.
I was just gonna sleep in his bed.
All right. The night passes. Ruva, you stay up, and the others eventually fall asleep. And slowly but surely, it rolls around to morning. The fire eventually kind of dwindles. Ruva, you can stoke it if you want, but you can also let it go out.
They're gonna stoke it.
Okay. Then the fire
should we take
continues.
a long rest?
Yes, everybody but Ruva.
Yep.
Okay.
But
That's
Ruva,
about 4 HP.
Ruva, if you want to, you can take a short rest.
Yeah, short rest. How do you get more HP?
So long rest will just heal you fully. Short rest, if you want to heal during a short rest, you can use your hit dice. If you click the short rest button on your character sheet there at the top, it'll actually show you what your hit die are. So you have D8 plus ones, and you have one of them. Every time you take a long rest, you get half your hit die back. But you only have one, so long rest would just give it back. So if you're using that, you just check that little box to make sure that it reminds you that you've used it. And then it doesn't roll it for you, so just in the bottom left on that little dice roller, if you want to use that, you just roll a d8 and then add 1 to that, and then that's what you heal. It'll most likely heal you to full.
So the roll hit die, confirm. Okay.
There you
4. Yep.
go. Yeah, perfect. So then just heal that amount. And the rest of you guys heal to full and get all your stuff back. So it rolls around to morning. You hear birds chirping outside and sun is streaming through the windows. You guys can decide amongst yourselves who you feel would get up first, but Ruva's still awake.
Taj gets up pretty
I
early.
would probably wake up. Yeah. I gotta go
Yeah.
tend my farm.
He worries. He's asleep.
So you don't really have any scheduled in plans for the day. You can wake up whenever you wish and do any sort of small chores that you feel that you would do, but I won't make you RP all of them. But
Ruva's just gonna stoke the fires and then go with Gale.
okay.
I'm just gonna go wake up Tibber so we can go forage for stuff in the forest.
Oh.
How are you still asleep?
Oh, what do you mean?
Never mind. Are you ready to go?
Go where?
We're gonna go pick some plants in the forest, remember?
Oh, hell yeah. He like quickly throws on his chainmail and throws his shit on his back.
10 minutes later.
Struggles into his armor.
So you guys have done this before. There's a little thicket of trees to the north of the orphanage before you kind of reach the base of some of the mountains. So all 4 of you guys can head out back if you want. So it's kind of relatively early. It's not super early in the morning, but maybe 9 or so in the morning. As you make your way out into the slightly cool morning air. But it's a sunny day as well, so it's not too cool.
Which way would we have normally gone? Like this way?
If you want to forage in the forest, just off to the north into the thicket of trees.
Gotcha.
I would
People
like-
were like very excitedly, like almost skipping head along with Kaj.
So Gail, there's a little sickle there lying next to the garden that you sometimes use to prune some of the leaves off some of the plants.
Fabulous. I'm gonna grab that just for a moment. Might need that.
All right. And the other 2, you guys head north off into the thicket. You see the occasional wildlife, some squirrels running up and down trees and birds sitting up in the branches as you spend the morning kind of walking around looking for whatever it is you want to find. And Gale and Ruva, you tend to the garden. One of the fences of the garden is kind of splintered slightly, a little bit damaged from some of the yam drakes, causing a bit of mischief and headbutting it, but it shouldn't be too difficult of a repair job. And slowly, go ahead.
We're just gonna do whatever Gail tells her to do in the garden.
Okay. Slowly but surely, the couple hours of the morning pass by as Kaj and Tibber forage out in the woods, and the 2 of you tend to the garden. And is there anything in particular you are looking for, Kaj?
We're just looking for different herbs for them to use in the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah. Then make a nature check with advantage because Tibber's helping you, and we'll see if you find some good stuff.
I just the advantage thing.
Hold shift.
Yep.
Good thing you have an advantage. Roll. You can just roll again too.
Come
Oh my god.
All right, the 2 of you are kind of still maybe rubbing sleep out of your eyes. So you walk right past some herbs and don't see them as you're foraging this morning. So you turn up kind of short on everything. Didn't really find much this morning. You've definitely had a lot more successful trips out into the thicket of trees. So you kind of turn up empty-handed today as you arrive back at the orphanage and see Ruva and Gale still kind of working away in the garden.
Man, they're not gonna like this.
Unlucky day today.
How'd your guy's morning go?
Oh, same old, same old. Just take care of the vegetables.
I know very little about plants.
I appreciate the help, little Ruva. You're better than Tibber.
What do you mean?
I mean,
You tried to eat them last time.
That's because they're tasty. I know about plants.
but
just-
You weren't
also
even
hungry.
finished.
stepped on-
I'm just
you
hungry.
stepped on a couple things too,
Okay,
Tibbs.
I
I
didn't-
remember that.
I didn't say I was good at cultivating them, but I know about them.
Like you know about eating them.
I feel like I would know if things were poisonous, though. I'd be good at that.
Same.
I hope there's nothing poisonous in my garden.
I mean, everything looks delicious.
Or nudge Tipper. Usually
Tipper.
you can tell by taste, funny enough.
I was about to say, Timber, go
Hey,
check.
takes track of Libby things.
I've had a lot of experience with it, yeah, but I mean, regardless, it doesn't taste much different. You just don't feel good after.
Does that mean you were poisoned last night?
Last night, I don't know, maybe, but I was
I'm sure those yams would never have tried to hurt you, right? Or any of the cooks, right? You did everything you were told.
Tiber's gonna go lean over to Kaj. You mind helping me out here?
Tipper did his very best. I'm sure we're all good.
Yeah, what he said. Please
So
don't kill me.
the morning kind of passes relatively peacefully. It's around maybe around 11 o'clock now, 11 a.m. Gale and Ruva, you kind of finished up in the garden. You've fixed up the fence and tended to some of the plants. And Kaj and Tip are just kind of chatting away with you as you finish up. And now, with your morning chores taken care of, you can spend the rest of the day however you wish.
We don't have any chores today, right? Like you guys don't? I don't think I do.
As far as I know.
I mean, we got a lot done yesterday. Or at least Gale and I did. Not sure how well it was on your end, but
I pull
I'm
my
sure
weight.
I'm sure Kaj helped you out.
Man.
I mean, pulling the weight and doing your chores are two different things.
He has a
feel like-
lot of weight to pull.
I feel like I'm picked on 'cause I'm the biggest here.
I'm the smallest.
Just a big target, Tipper. It's all right.
Yeah, I know. Do we want to go talk
we
to
want
that
to
old
go?
lady?
Yeah. Lady Sintra?
Oh,
yeah, that.
It'd be a good idea to stop by there today.
Today? Are you sure?
Wait,
She
wasn't
did
it
ask for us today.
I don't think we have anything to do.
Yeah, we are free.
All right.
Good time as any.
If you wish to head into town, you can do so. You're free of chores for the rest of the day, so you have some time to yourselves.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, might as well.
I like this city.
You like the food in the city.
It's good.
Just
It is good.
So making your way kind of around the front of the orphanage, you gather up the things that you think you might want to bring with you and head on over to the front of the orphanage where the path south kind of towards the town is.
Gale, hurry up.
Do we know if we need anything from town?
Like what?
I
Well,
don't know.
Didn't we say we were out of a couple things? Didn't we use up? Oh, you guys wouldn't know. Yeah, we used up a couple things last night. I'm sure I can just remember most of them and
Yep,
go in.
there's a general store in town where you could grab some things.
Do we have any money?
Oh.
I don't.
I didn't have any girlfriends on me.
Okay, let's just go. Let's not do the general store.
Maybe she'll give us some money.
Why would she give
See
us
if
money?
opportunity calls.
All right, so making your way along the path, to help you situate yourself, you are at the Stony Brook Orphanage, which is kind of on the outskirts of town, about a half an hour walk to the north of town, around this area here. And it's a relatively peaceful kind of dirt path south that you follow. Along sort of a countryside, occasionally you'll see a little babbling brook along the way that you pass by, with birds singing out in the trees. It is a peaceful landscape. And eventually, you see the shapes of huts in the future, or in the distance, and travel a little further on for arriving in Stony Brook, which is a humble little town, though a little more built up than just sort of the lone orphanage in the north. But it's built sort of along a river, two halves of a town on either side of a larger river. As you take the path south a little bit, which then forks slightly east, to arrive on one of the main roads of the town. And so when you arrive, you are here, on the western side of town.
We didn't ask her where
Yeah,
her
where
manor
does
was,
she
did
live
we?
again?
She's rich. It's probably like the biggest house or something.
She didn't specifically say, but this isn't the first time you've ever been to Stony Brook. And when visiting the general store, which you would have visited before, you've often seen a very large building, the biggest estate in town, which you kind of always just assumed to be hers.
You guys want to head to that big house?
Let's start there.
It was on the eastern side of town. If I said west, I was just wrong. I don't remember what I said, but Jay Bulger saying the west side makes me think that I said it wrong the first time. But yeah, on the eastern side of town.
So here is this what it is?
Yeah, there's a little square.
I think that's a church. Looks like a church.
Oh, I just assumed it was the fishery, even though it says to the fishery.
fishery.
So it wouldn't make sense.
I just assumed it was a church. It's got a stump.
Referring to that road that will take you to the fishery down the way.
Mhm. Okay.
All right.
So I guess we just head across the bridge, right?
Indeed. I'm actually going to take you into town, so just give me a sec.
Wow.
All right, we're missing Gale.
I'm just off with the wind. That's fine.
Took me a second.
As you make your way along the sort of northern path on the northern half of the town, north side of the river, there's sort of smaller little residences lining the path, small houses. The occasional villager passes by you, gives you a small wave. You've seen them before.
I'll wave back.
Yeah, Riv is
just
just
nodding to people.
smiling and humming.
He looks like visibly happy.
You can see a bit of an intersection in the dirt path. Off to your left is the path that leads towards some of the farmsteads where you occasionally get your produce from. You can see a town guard just kind of keeping watch over some of the villagers as they pass you by. The road off ahead of you will eventually lead off towards the church in town, or further past it towards the old fishery by the coast. But for your purposes, you want to take a right here and cross the stone bridge to the southern side of town.
Come on, Gale.
There's so much to see. Oh, a rock.
We lost one.
So making your way across the old stone bridge, you eventually arrive towards the southern side of town. The southern side of
Yeah, there's
town
two of me.
How
looks.
are there two?
Oh yeah, you got slingshotted over there. There's a Roll20 has a slingshot effect where if I'm clicking to drag to select all of you and you move while I'm doing that, it'll sometimes slingshot you across the map.
I'm glad I know this now.
As you pass by a few more town guards on your way, the southern side of town looks a little similar to the north, just sort of dotted with more houses. There's a southern path that leads out of town, but for your purposes, you're turning towards the east, over towards where the tavern and the general store are, as well as the larger estate.
Riv is gonna stay behind Gale. I tried to herd him in the correct direction. Let's go, buddy.
And making your way along the path, you eventually arrive in a bit of a square at the end of this road. Most of the folk around Stony Brook tend to call it Market Square. There's only a few little shops here, but it's kind of been given the colloquial name. There's a fountain in the center of the square and a couple little stalls set up with various merchants. The general store is on the south side of the square, the tavern on the north, and then a large estate, sort of a manor, is directly ahead. Some of the villagers, Ariana, the woman who works this stall, waves at you. She's seen you before in town. Talked to her there occasionally, sometimes bought some food from her.
Bieber is like visibly just eyeing the ingredients while he like waves back a little.
Hi, Ari.
Top of the morning to you. How's things going at the orphanage?
A little hectic, but
With all those
hopefully
little
positive.
ones, with all those little ones around, you kind of have to respect that.
And the walking, talking vegetables.
More sprites in the garden, I see.
Definitely.
Man, they look good.
So there's an ornately decorated staircase that leads to a tall door at the front of this manor.
Ready?
Let's not.
You knock on the door and
The butler guy again.
hear some footsteps from behind the door. And after a moment of waiting, the door opens and you see Diarmid, who opens it and says, "Here to see the lady."
Oh, hey, Mr. Stick. Yeah.
We are indeed.
Very well, follow me.
Sheesh.
Thank you. Come on, Gale.
All right. So he opens the door for you and allows you to enter, kind of holding out his hand to allow you to pass him as you make your way for the first time into the Sullivan Manor. And he steps back and says, "Just this way, then."
This place is pretty nice. Not as nice as my home, but
You mean the orphanage?
sure.
It's not very great there.
He's been to the orphanage, too, right?
Yeah,
I live there with you, silly.
yeah. Oh, it's Rem. Sorry, I had to.
You can see one of Lady Sullivan's maids just kind of quietly at work in the hall as you pass through a rather ornate-looking manor. Diarmid leading you towards the staircase on the far end of the hall. Just this way. And you follow him up a carpeted staircase to the upper floor of the manor. And he leads you to a door on your right. And says, "The lady is just in there." And you see him sort of knock on the door and then pull it open and sort of extends his arm to allow you guys to enter.
Thank you.
Are we a little early?
No, it's around midday. But as you enter, you see Lady Sullivan's bedroom. And the lady herself is on the far end of the room. And she is sitting in bed, kind of propped up with one of her pillows, sitting up. And there's someone else in the room with you, you notice as you walk in. She appears to be wearing healer's garb, from what you can tell. Though you haven't met her before. She's kind of standing by a nearby table with a mortar and pestle and grinding something. But as you walk in, Lady Sullivan says, it's the kids from the orphanage. How good to see you. Everyone doing well this morning?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Are you doing good?
Well, I have been better, to tell you the truth. I suppose you're all here in relation to what I said the other day, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I shan't make you wait any longer. I'll explain. As you've probably already noticed, I'm not in the best of health. I've fallen ill as of late for several months now. And I have my nurse here with me, and we haven't been able to find anything that's really helped. She actually motions for whoever's closest, Kaj, kind of Tibber. She pulls back kind of the cover and shows, holds out kind of one of her arms. She's showing you sort of her wrist.
What's the problem?
Kaj, you can make a medicine check if you want.
Okay.
Not bad. So the most obvious thing you notice when she holds out her arm is that where you expected to see just sort of faint blue veins on her arm, instead, it looks as though mercury flows through her veins. They're faint and silvery. And her arm itself is relatively emaciated. She looks quite thin. And she sort of sees you looking at her arm and says, "Yes, folk in these parts have been calling it silver vein. It is a strange ailment that has been cropping up around Our Lady's land for the past year or so. And, I've fallen ill with it myself. Which is why I've hired Miss Murray here to be my personal nurse and attempt to see if she could cure it, but we haven't had any luck.
What caused it?
Well, that is part of the problem, and what makes it so hard to cure. I'm not entirely sure. I simply noticed a change in my, well, she kind of looks at her arm and kind of motions with her wrist as she says that, and began to feel exhausted all the time, weak, lost my appetite, gained a cough, and had a few dizzy spells from time to time, and it's been worsening.
You still made your way to come visit us. We really appreciate that.
I do love to visit the orphanage and see you kids. It is one of my joys in life that I can help provide at least a comfortable life for kids who haven't been given that. And well, that brings us to our problem.
What can we do to help?
Well, I fear if my condition worsens, that I may pass away. And, well, should I pass away, my fortune will be passed to my several children. And, well, one of my greatest regrets as a successful merchant myself is that my fortune has turned my children greedy and unkind and selfish, and I fear that if my fortune goes to them, they have no interest in continuing donations to the orphanage. I've tried many times to mend their attitudes, to no success. She pauses for a moment. Yeah, she looks a little bit sad, kind of, as she talks about her children and about her sort of impending mortality.
Are you not able to, like, say that some of the money goes to the orphanage? I mean, I don't know how it works, but
I have...
Gotta be something.
Indeed, you are right. I have put in a request to amend a portion of my will, but I fear my children may have done something behind the scenes. The lawyer I was speaking with has not been able to get any of the correct documents in order and has been endlessly delaying the process. I worry that I won't last long enough for any real change to be made.
It's definitely in our best interest to help how we can right now.
What do you want us to do?
Well, if you'll forgive me changing the subject. Have any of you heard the children's fable, The Bard of Belissander?
I think
I
a
was
long
reading that just
time
yesterday, right?
ago. Yeah.
I know what bard means.
Those of you who have been at the orphanage for quite some time, who were here when you were a kid, you kind of think back in your memory, and beyond just seeing Eddard with the book, you remember being vaguely told that as perhaps a bedtime story, though the details of the story have kind of slipped your mind. But Sinjar kind of sees that you have a vague familiarity, but not a exact recollection, and says, "Well, if you'll allow me to summarize, I promise it will make sense why I've changed the subject eventually." And pausing for a moment and taking a sip of water to sort of wet her throat, she begins to sort of summarize the tale of the Bard of Belissander.
Does she sing it?
No. Long ago, there was a young girl born in Belissander, a series of vineyards to the south in Sunnyside. The young girl showed great musical promise from a young age, quickly learning every instrument she could. Her favorite of the instruments was the lyre, and she would play it until her fingers were worn and bloody. Folk from all over said that the music the girl played with her lyre was so beautiful that it was capable of healing the injured, sick, and starving. Soon this reputation began to attract those who had use of its power. As the young girl grew into a woman, folk came from all over to bathe in the music of the bard's lyre. At first she played for a patient or two, and then 2 became 5, 5 became 10. The girl began to travel all over Our Lady's land, seeking to cure the common folk of their ailments. But playing the lyre weighed heavy on the bard. Each time she gave a performance, she would lock herself away in her room to rest the following day. But as her crowds grew, so too did her period of rest. A day's rest became 2 days, then 4, then a week. As the bard would lock herself away, the crowd's demands would grow feverish, shouting and screaming for the cure to their woes. Soon the pressure became too great, and the bard fled the city of Glory Bell, disappearing into the surrounding wilds. And from that day on, no one ever saw the Bard of Belissander again. Now, I know you think me daft. The Bard of Belissander is but a children's story, a cautionary tale that warns the youth that good things should be treated with care and not exploited, and all that. And as I continue, you'll likely think me even more daft still. You see, I believe that the lyre truly exists. The tale is old indeed, and if the bard exists, then surely she's passed from this coil. But the lyre must still be out there. And if it still holds any properties of healing, even after all this time, then it may be the cure that I'm seeking.
Do you have any idea where it might be?
Well, in my attempts to find a cure for Silvervein, I hired teams of researchers, archaeologists, archaeologists, scholars and scribes, and sent them searching for any form of clue in history books and talking to folk around the villages and towns for even word of mouth, and searching for any sort of clue where it may have gone. And well, now this is the part where it becomes more relevant to you. My team of researchers, I was in close correspondence with them, sending letters back and forth as they traveled around. And several weeks ago, they sent me a letter that said that they were following up a promising lead they'd found in the town of Silkenshore to the south. They traveled there, and I sent them letters asking of any progress, and since the letter after which they said they were traveling to Silkenshore, they have not sent any letters since. I have sent multiple letters attempting to reach them, but nothing. They have, for all intents and purposes, disappeared. And I worry that something may have happened to them, and, well, if you are interested, I would like to hire you all to travel to Silkenshore and investigate what they were doing there and where they have gone.
Oh man, that's a lot.
The Silken Shore, possibly in search of a legend. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't know. Not really up to me.
Any thoughts, Ruben?
Well, as you guys pointed out while we were back home, she's helped us a lot and can continue to help a lot of other kids like us. So we gotta help her, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a bit dangerous, though. I mean,
Oh, don't worry about that, Tibbs. I'll take care of you.
Yeah, we can take care of you, Tibbs.
that's terrifying. I mean, I can take care of myself. I'm just
You
worried
seem
about you
scared.
guys.
I don't know. Yeah, you
Um,
did seem pretty terrified.
I'm not scared. I mean, I'm scared that you guys will get hurt.
Okay, well, we you've said you're scared, and we now know that you admit that you're scared. So don't worry, we got
You
this.
should take the back of the line. We'll take the front.
Hmm.
But don't put don't put words in my mouth. I'll be fine. And
I
you
was
How
guys
like,
should
good.
stick behind me.
I wouldn't be able to see anything.
well, Lady Sindra, sounds like we're up for it.
Good, good. I would like to fund your travels as well. To start you off for supplies, I'd like to... She kind of is fiddling around with some of her things. I'd like to give you some money. And she kind of begins to hand out to each of you. She hands you each 35 golden griffins, the currency of the land,
Core.
and says, for provisions and extra things that you feel you may need on your journey, and should you return with anything, I promise I will reward you even further beyond this, and I will promise as well to continue my donations to the orphanage.
Thank you so much for your generosity. Also, hi, hello to your nurse. Who are you? What do you do? How do you know her?
I am the nurse who was hired by Lady Sullivan herself to treat her, of course.
Hired? Oh, by her. From where?
Well, originally I come from Eudora, the capital, of course,
Hmm.
and did several years in the church, and then moved to the local church here for a bit of healing. Then
Oh,
that was, of course, where I met Lady Sullivan, who then hired me to look after her.
okay. Have any of her children come to visit her while you've been here?
Not while I was here, no. Though you may
Okay.
speak with the butler. He may know more than I do. Though he does not seem fond of her children.
Mm. What have you been trying to use to treat her?
Well, she actually kind of motions you sort of kind of towards the door as she's speaking. Well, I have tried every remedy in the book. Herbs from all over. I've sent in shipments out of even my own money to the capital for herbs, and nothing I have tried has worked.
That's interesting. I have a out of character question.
Mhm.
Who's best with medicine?
I have a +3, but it's probably Kaj.
+3.
Okay. Cause yeah, all right. Hey, I don't really understand much about medicines, but Kaj, Tibbs, you wanna look in and see what she was working on and stuff so you can understand?
I mean, most I know about poisons, but I guess so. You wanna give it a shot first, though? Maybe able to work off what you know.
Take a look. You want me to do a check there?
Well, I suppose if you have the time, I can show you the remedies I've been working on.
Oh yes, please.
She sits down at her chair and says, well, first, the obvious choice is to start with Clearbell. Though the usual Clearbell mixture did not seem to have any effect on Our Lady. And then next, I attempted to up the dosage, still continuing with Clearbell, as is normal practice, but even that didn't have any effect, which is unusual. Clearbell seems to be able to handle most normal diseases, and, well, as you've seen with the lady's arm, this is not a normal disease. Now, of course,
Could be a curse.
I did consider that for some time. I even had the Monsignor from the church come in and attempt to dispel any sort of curses on her, but again, no avail. Which led me back towards diseases.
Hmm. Uh, does she have some of this stuff on the like table?
Yeah, she's got a huge mixture of
Okay.
herbs, potions, mushrooms, all sorts of stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna do a medicine check,
Mhm.
even though like I'm terrible at it.
You can make one too, Kaj.
Okay.
You've
Please, somebody help.
Kaj, you've definitely heard of Clearbell. It's used to treat most kind of common diseases, sort of like an antibiotic. So she does seem to know what she's talking about.
Everything's all in order so far.
And
right?
that's the stuff that's on the table or whatever.
Indeed.
Yep.
Okay. Wow, I feel like I've learned a lot. Thank you so much for this information. And also knowing that you've looked for magical causes is good to know.
Indeed. After I had no luck with treating it as a disease, I looked into curses and again spoke with the church and looked for magical causes, but I can't see any sort of reason why it would be a magical cause, so I've returned to diseases.
Okay. Oh, I should probably leave you to your work, right? We should probably talk to the butler about the children, right, guys?
Right.
Yes, if you
Thank you
wish.
for your efforts so far. We'll try and get back as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm. I hope you feel better, lady.
Thank you for the well wishes. I wish you luck on your journey.
Come on, Gail.
I'm coming. I can only go so far when you block the road.
Diarmid is waiting in the hall for you and says, I see you have accepted the lady's job offer.
Yeah,
Yes,
it would
sir.
seem.
Very well. Was there anything you needed from me then?
Information about the children?
Aye. It's no secret that I'm not fond of the lady's progeny. They are selfish and more obsessed with money than their own mother's well-being. And
Wait, how many kids does she have?
the lady has 3 children.
Oh.
2 of which travel far overseas. The third lives down in Glory Bell.
They're merchants as well?
Aye, they took after their mother and took up the trade.
Do you think... If they're very selfish and they don't want to share things, do you think maybe they could be mad at their mother and know about the orphanage and want to keep the money for themselves?
Well, that is my suspicion. The legal proceedings have been tied up in endless annoyances, and I suspect it may be one of them behind it, wishing to receive more of the fortune before the lady can give it to the orphanage.
You tell them about the visitor last night?
Oh, yeah.
Was there any questions you had for me?
One more thing. Late last night at the orphanage, we had a visitor at the door. He was covered in scars and wearing leather. He had darker skin. Does that ring any bells to you?
I'm afraid it does not.
He also whistles.
Well, it does not ring any bells. Though, if I ever meet anyone who whistles, I will be sure to tell you.
One more thing. Of the 3 children, are there any that stand out? Like, I don't know. Sometimes when people are scheming, they forget to to mask like what their plans are. I was wondering if you, as an amazing butler, picked up on some grievances specifically for one of the children.
Well, I have only met them a few times. They do not visit their mother often. As I said, 2 of them travel far overseas and very rarely make their way back to Middlemere. The third,
Did they used to live here?
indeed,
Ah.
Glory Bell, but most of them made their fortunes overseas. Only one of them decided to settle and stay in Glory Bell.
I was just surprised for some reason. You look after your lady so well. I assumed that you had been her butler for forever, I guess. So I didn't know how you didn't um know the children better.
I have been the lady's butler for quite some time. It is simply that the children do not visit often. In fact, they only really showed any interest when there was money involved.
Ah, I see. Well, thank you so much for all of this information.
Happy to help. Is there anything else you need? Would you like any tea or appetizers?
I was wondering if we could talk to the maid downstairs.
If you wish.
Awesome. I kind of liked her hair.
Bieber is muttering about Glory Bell, kind of just like not paying attention, walking away.
Could we have some tea? I'm pretty sure Tibbs could also use some food.
It's good to use some food.
Very well. Make your way back downstairs.
So they don't visit that often. When was the last time they visited?
Sorry. Diarmid has walked over to the maid
Okay.
and says, our visitors here are interested in some tea and would like to ask you a few questions, so why don't you come and help me make the tea and they can ask you questions. And the maid follows along as Diarmid leads you towards the kitchen. The maid following behind.
Hey, Tibber.
Oh,
Food?
not very hungry.
You're not hungry.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You're in this, Gil?
Diarmid begins heating up a kettle and
Gale's
says,
completely out of it.
he looks around at the room. Did your friends get lost?
Yes, it happens a lot, honestly.
The kitchen is this
Oh,
way,
that's where
sir.
he went. So the door was open,
Thank
so I
you.
wanted to take a gander.
That would be the dining hall. This is the kitchen.
Oops.
Now then,
You'll have to excuse Gale. He tends to go with the wind, as it were.
I see.
When was the last time the children visited?
Hmm.
Did you say? I can't remember.
Well, the two overseas. It's been well over a year now. And the one that lives in Glorybell, Francis, was several months ago.
Wow. But they know that their mother is sick? When did that start?
I sent correspondences overseas to Glorybell to let them know, and I did not receive a response.
Hmm. Well, I hope they're okay. All right. Aside from I feel weird just calling them the kids. What are, what are their names?
Well, the one that lives in Glorybell is Francis Sullivan, and the two that are overseas are Lucinda and Jack.
Thank you. Um, hello. Uh, I don't want to call you just maid. What's your name?
Alice is my name.
Ah, hi, Alice. Um, how long have you worked here?
A few years now.
Did you ever meet any of the children?
Meet will not be the right word, ma'am. I've seen them, but I mostly am busy when they visit, and I really only just bring refreshments. I wouldn't say that I've met them, no.
Mm. But you usually cook. What what do you usually do? Is it hard work?
Well, it can be, but it is fulfilling, and the lady does pay me quite well. And I cook, I clean, I make sure that any guests that she has are well taken care of.
Well, thank you. And also, I really like your hair. I just wanted to tell you that.
Well, thank you, I suppose.
Okay. Um, did they get the tea?
Yeah. As you were talking, when you
Okay.
first came in, Diarmid put a kettle near the fire to heat up, and eventually, sort of as you're asking some questions,
Mhm.
he grabs the kettle and then has poured you, whoever wants any, several very kind of delicate-looking teacups that he passes out to each of you
Mhm.
with a little saucer under it. For you
Thank you so much.
and for the gentleman.
Thank you.
Rue's just gonna
Sir,
uh
would you like any tea?
Oh, no, no, thank you.
Very well, sir.
Rue is just drinking the tea.
You may stay as long as you wish. If you have any more questions, simply let me know. I'm afraid Alice will likely need to get back to her tasks.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. After the
Thank you,
tea,
Alice.
I'm done. So,
It
Ruva like
was
finishes the tea.
nice to meet you all. Have a nice
Nice to
day.
meet you too. Should we do these dishes? I kind of feel bad.
Not to worry. I will take care of things once you leave.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Guys, are we ready to go?
I'm all good here. We gotta see what's going on with Tibbers too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not drinking tea and not
Not
eating.
eating.
Tibbs, what's up?
Are we ready now?
Mm-hmm.
Diarmid
Thank
walks
you.
you to the door and says, well, I wish you luck on your journeys. And
Thank you so much, sir.
should you need anything, don't hesitate to come back to the manor and ask. Should you visit
Oh,
again, I'll put the kettle on.
uh, one last question, I swear.
Very well.
Does she get care, the lady, does she get care like throughout the night and stuff? Is there someone watching? Is there a nurse there?
We have allowed Miss Murray to stay in the manor while she treats the lady.
Okay.
She
Alright.
does have the occasional coughing fit in the middle of the night that needs a minor tincture to help calm down.
Okay. Thank you for answering so many questions.
Happy to help.
We'll do our best to find it.
I wish you luck. and you make your way down the stairs out of the manor and back to Market Square. Diarmid sort of stands in the doorway as you leave, and then sort of, for anyone who looks back, he gives a small little kind of half bow and then closes the door behind him.
Rue was just like humming to herself. Hey guys, I can't remember what we needed to get.
We can definitely get it now, though.
But I can't remember. Should we just head back, regroup? What are we gonna do now?
I think we can head back. I did want to have a talk with the guard on the way back, though, about our visitor from the night.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should get some supplies before we head out, regardless.
Yeah, we can take a look at the store and see.
All right. Well, you
Lead on.
turn your attention towards the general store, which is located in the southern part of the square, and make your way along the stone tiles below you towards it. But that is where we'll end the session for today.
Talk.
It's a good little break point.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, I can bring you to this screen. I didn't want to do it beforehand when we were talking because I didn't want to spoil any of the portraits, but now we can go over here. Finally. To our Theater of the Mind / chill screen.
Nice.
Nice.
Quite good, quite good.
All right. That was a fun first session. Lots
It went
happened.
better than I thought.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. This seems like it'll be a fun group to play with, so I'm excited for the rest of the campaign.
Huzzah! I feel like we
go
kind
ahead.
of got a lot of information, and if I could consolidate some of that with you guys potentially afterwards,
For
that
sure.
would be great.
If you guys ever forget anything and you want to double check it with me, feel free.
Okay. Great.
Because sometimes, especially near the beginning of campaigns, you get a bunch of information. So if you forget names or want to remember details and don't want to go hunt through a 4-hour VOD for it, you can ask me.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
But yeah, it was a very fun first session. Been looking forward to this one for a while, and it turned out as I expected, and was a lot of fun.
We got to kill yam drakes.
We got to eat yam drakes.
We did eat those.
But yeah, so channel stuff before everybody leaves. I usually like to do a little spiel at the end, and then we can just kind of hang out and chat if you guys want to. But for chat's sake, so that if they're tired, they can go to sleep. In regards to channel stuff, next stream will be Wednesday, unless anything changes. But I think we're good for Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for more Whispers in the Woods. And then the current plan, unless anything different happens, the current plan is that Friday also at 7 p.m. Eastern will be the return of Caesar Sam. So yeah, it'll be nice to have 3 campaigns going at once again. Can't wait for that. It's been a while. So yeah. I'll talk a little bit more about Caesar Sand and why it took so long, probably on Wednesday, because that'll be a little more relevant then. But yeah, so another thing you can look forward to, which will hit you with an exclamation mark lore in the chat. This is our World Anvil, and it includes a bunch of information. It's basically like a wiki about the living world that all my campaigns take place in. So if you want to learn more about the world or the deities and stuff like that, you can check that out. But because we are in a new kingdom, that hasn't been on stream before, with a lot of new stuff. I'll be making a bunch of updates to the World Anvil in the coming week. You'll get a lot of new stuff, including a page on Middlemere, a page on Amelina, who I mentioned briefly throughout the session. So you'll get a little bit more background on that stuff. So yeah, look forward to that. I'll probably put the Glimmering Isles one there too. The map, rather, so that everybody can see that as well. So yeah, we'll be getting quite a few updates to the World Anvil. So look forward to those in the coming week. I can't say exactly when they'll be up, but I'll be kind of plunking away at them in the background, depending on how much prep I have to do for sessions. So next week or two, there'll be some pages being added along the way. Other than that, we have a VOD channel on YouTube. It's just Grand Lorien, like we are here. That's the title of it. But you can find the link below. If you ever miss a session and can't find it on the Twitch because they delete after 15 days, then you can check out that YouTube channel and go all the way back in the archive and see the beginning of some campaign that you're enjoying, that you want to find out what happened at the beginning of it, how it all started. Feel free to check that out. If it's not here, it'll probably be there. So if you can't find anything on Twitch, then search the YouTube channel. Other than that, we have a Discord, !Discord in the chat if you ever want to find that link. It is free to join for anybody. You don't have to be a player to get into it. It's just for talking about the living world itself. So feel free to join even if you're not a player. You can find that link by !Discord. Even if you're watching a VOD, if you're watching this on the VOD, you are also welcome to join. Don't feel like it's just some exclusive thing. There's lots of channels. There's art channels, and there's a meme channel for shitposts. There's individual chat channels for all the campaigns to talk about your theory of what's going on in whatever campaign, or your whatever parts you enjoyed from a session or something like that. So yeah, you can check all those out. There's an art channel for all sorts of different fan art stuff, and we have a lot of artists who play as well, so you can see their art of their own characters and stuff like that. So yeah, feel free to join that. Don't feel like you'll be some stranger or anything like that. People here are very welcoming, so don't feel nervous or weird about joining. And yeah, other than that, I just have like a Twitter, and I just do updates on there. So follow that if you want updates. But see, channel points, we still need like some sort of cool thing to do with channel points, because you just have all the basic stuff like highlighting messages and stuff like that. We need something good. But I don't want to. Whatever I end up doing will be subject to, basically, it'll be a beta test, because I'm gonna reserve the right to change a bunch of stuff. We'll yeah, we'll give it a shot with something, but it tends to kind of get a little bit absurd with channel points. So from what I've seen from other people's streams, so whatever I introduce with that will be on probation. We'll be watching over it closely to make sure it doesn't interfere with anything. Other than that, yeah, unless anybody has anything that they're doing next week, then the next session of Silversong will be next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So tune in to see what happens next.
Let's go, dude.
I'm so excited.
Other than that, that's all I have to say. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. It's always nice when lots of people show up for a debut of a new campaign. So it's nice to have a lot of people in the chat, and it's nice to talk to everybody. especially Middlemere is a fun place to set everything. It's sort of medieval Ireland inspired, so get to do lots of accents and kind of have some fun with stuff. If you're wondering why we keep talking about golden griffins, because I realize we gave no context to that. It's the currency. It's what they call gold pieces here in Middlemere, just for fun. So you'll hear them maybe say griffs or griffins or golden griffins. They're just talking about gold pieces, basically.
Gotta get that money.
But yeah, other than that, that's all I have to say. So, have a good night. Is there anybody online? Should we raid somebody? Because we got some people in here.
Oh, thank you for an amazing DM session, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, thanks. It's awesome, Jay.
I've been waiting to do this for like 4 months, and I'm so happy.
It's been a long time coming, but it's good to finally get it going. It's this is a fun group, and will be a fun campaign. So yeah, let's just wrap up and we'll end the stream here. So yeah, I will see everybody on Wednesday for more Whispers in the Woods, and if you're here for Silversong, then I'll see you next Monday.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
have a great night.